Okay, guys, so I have a guest with me today. She's actually helped me put this together because I honestly don't know what I'm doing. Still a virgin at doing this digital content stuff. So I have with us the lovely Glam Lux, or MJ from Glam Lux, and I'm going to talk to her about international dating and the thing that I've discussed before as far as SYSBM and how that relates to dating overseas and why I chose to date in the Philippines. So, with no further ado, I'm going to bring her in and we're going to talk about it. Okay, guys?
Hi.
Hey,
As if
MJ. So I think I got it right this
getting
time.
seeing each other today.
I think those 3 years of theater arts in high school maybe paid off a little bit.
Well, wait. I think I need to. Oh my god. To use this so I can hear you clearly.
Oh, no problem. And if you can't hear me, just let me know.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Is it clear? Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yes.
My cheeks are emphasized. Just do like
So remember last week I was saying I was going to talk about what SYSBM is, which I've talked about in some previous videos with a friend of mine. Like we would drive around and sort of talk about um, our thoughts on SYSBM, which is an acronym. It, it's a
okay.
it's an acronym to say that stands for Save Yourself, Black Men. It's used in the Black manosphere and red pill space, basically to talk about Black men who've decided to date interracially and particularly overseas. So, and that kind of connects with me traveling to the Philippines, meeting someone overseas whom I married, and basically telling a lot of other guys to do the same as well.
Okay. But I think they need to be careful
That's true,
because
and
Filipino women now they are aware now that they are in demand. So
that is true. So
you
I
know
do. I've,
they're
I've
taking advantage of it.
That's true. Well, everyone's always going to take advantage of something, so it requires a little bit of thinking skills.
Mm.
Um, the good thing is the guys who can travel tend to be a little bit a cut above the average guy because most black guys don't travel or date folks overseas. So a lot of them tend to be a little bit sharper. Well, some of them, not all of them. But yeah, you have a bunch of guys who go overseas and they bring over the same simping that they're doing here in America. So
Oh,
do I need to describe what simp is for you? I think most of the audience
what
may
is
know. So simp
what
was
is sim?
so simp used to used to stand for well, it's not a nice term, but it comes from simpleton, but it means guys who will mess with inferior women just for the sake of sex. So
Okay.
that's the nice way of putting it. You can sort of know where some of those uh, initials stand for, like the P stands for rhymes with tussy. So
Oh,
um,
I didn't
it,
know that.
yeah. So simps are basically guys who will do anything for some easy sex, and we see that with guys who come to the Philippines. Like I met you um, when we discussed stuff over at Mike's Philippine Journey. Shout out to him. And I've joked with him a lot of times in his comment section about the same types of guys that we both laugh at. They come over there, they get with these women who are sex workers or single mothers, and they're the same low quality women that they're trying to avoid here in America or in Europe, but they still go for those same women when they come to the Philippines or to Thailand.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I don't. I don't understand that. Just as long as the woman is morena, they're going for it. Like what?
so
Like,
yeah,
you don't know how to. They don't know how to assess a
so
person.
exactly. So and that's the problem is they're bringing the same problems they're trying to avoid with them to the
Yeah.
Philippines and to these other Asian countries because they don't know how to pick quality women. So one of the videos I've made in the past was, if you're stupid, don't travel overseas, which gets to that point of, if you don't know how to, make good decisions, then going overseas isn't going to make it any better for you. I've literally had a friend who I'm known for years. We initially became friends on Facebook through one of those Philippine dating Facebook groups that I told you about off camera, where you can meet some of these women, and they're usually low value women, unfortunately. But he and I connected, and we both started traveling. He did before I did, and the first time he went overseas was to Angela Silly, and he
Oh.
started dating a bar girl.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm like, what? And I was like, why are you doing that? And he was like, it doesn't matter. But he literally started making multiple accounts on Facebook so he could find out what his girlfriend is up to, because apparently, she was he wasn't the only one uh, that she was quote unquote dating.
Of
And
course, I mean, what can you expect? You will get that kind of woman and then you will get paranoid.
exactly,
In a
that's exactly what
relationship,
happened.
you need trust. If you cannot trust each other, then move on. Don't enter into that kind of relationship.
What made it worse is that after he left her, he got with another one, another bar
A
girl. This
burger
time,
again.
yeah, but this time in Subic,
Oh my
in
god.
in Subic Bay
It's
area.
just the same. It's just, I mean, near location from each other. It's
I
just the
so
same.
I even tried to offer her a legitimate job because I do some call center work, which is what I brought with me to the Philippines. And I told her she can work. At the time, I actually had a physical office, and I was telling her if she can get to Metro Manila, I can set her up with an office job. She was telling me it was too far, and it wouldn't pay enough to make it worthwhile for her moving. And I was like, well, it's
Oh
legitimate
my
work
god.
compared.
I mean, he's planning, but then he's not really prepared for it. There are things that he can't afford, but he's planning like that. He will get bankrupt.
This was the girlfriend, the second girlfriend, who was also a bar girl. So he almost married her. He got engaged to the second one, and then
Okay.
I think his common sense kicked in, and he called it off and said this wasn't working for him. And I guess she was upset. Um, but I mean, at least he's honest. He told me later on, he's like, man, you were completely right. But I like. He told me he likes classless women. So
What?
yeah, I mean, he told me he likes trashy women. That's what he likes. So
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
at least he's honest about it. So he said he wasn't going to try to get into any more relationships because he knows his own taste, and he knows that he's going to keep going for the same type of women. So he's just going to avoid any serious relationships. I mean, oh well. so
So
so with SY,
we
so
can't
going,
do anything about
yeah.
that because he likes trashy women. So what can we do? He
At
likes
least
it.
at least he knows what he likes.
Yeah. At least he's brave to admit it.
So going into SYSBM, like I said, it stands for Save Yourself Black Men. It was, I don't know who created the term, but it started circulating around the Black manosphere for people who decided that they just don't want to date American women anymore, at least not Black American women. So some guys will travel overseas, and their destinations are the Philippines and Thailand, or if they still want Black women, they are going to the Dominican Republic, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, or to Africa. Um, but a lot of guys like me are just saying, I don't want any sort of Black women. I just want something else. And so you have some brothers coming to the Philippines and to Thailand. There's one guy, shout out to Richie Mack from Zoom to Thailand. He has a whole channel about him living in Thailand and his relationship with his woman there. And you know, I have my wife in the Philippines, but uh, she's kind of shy about being on camera. She says she might do a video with me later on. But so yeah, the reasons a lot of guys are choosing to do this is that there's been this like really nasty gender war here in America between black men and black women. And I don't know if you want me to go into detail about that.
And I think also not not only black men and black women. I think like men and women,
Yeah, so it's I think it's happening overall in
black
America
or
with men
white.
and women, with men and women, but in the at least in the black community, it's gotten really nasty. Um, because it's been something that's been happening for the last couple of decades, and what became like a really powder keg moment was when this YouTube personality Kevin Samuels came about like a few years ago, and he's been doing content for years, but most of his content was mostly geared towards men becoming better versions of themselves, stuff like that. But he switched to talking to women on live streams and asking them what they want, and he realized how delusional they were, and he became really famous for that until he died about almost 2 months ago, and it sparked this gender war online that was before then kind of hidden. I see the cat.
He likes attention.
Yeah.
He's crying.
So he brought a lot of things to attention, how they want high earning men, but they want them at a young age where most men aren't earning that sort of income until they hit like their mid 30s to early 40s. Um,
Why do
but
they
they
like high earning men? To provide for them?
Yes, but it's a combination of things. I think one is like the unrealistic expectations of what they see on TV and looking at entertainers and athletes. So, you know, when I was in college, all of us were equally broke. The men were equally broke. The women were equally broke. But from some of the younger guys I talk with, they said it's not like that. Like the girls expect these college students to be like high earning men when they're still in school. Like it doesn't make any sense. And then once they leave school, uh, it becomes even worse because now it becomes competitive between them in the workspace. Or they, or for the men who don't go to college at all, they sort of um, distance themselves from the guys, thinking they're not worthy of them. Yet these women, even the ones who are earning degrees and earning and making a lot of money, are still going for the same dusty guys whom we colloquially call them Pookie and Ray Ray. these are these are sort of the guys that aren't really doing nothing, or they are in sorts of criminal activity and stuff like that. And women, even in the ones who are professional, will go towards these men, have children by them uh, out of wedlock, but still expected later on to find higher earning men of higher value, and it's just unrealistic. So a lot of the guys who are of higher value or make higher income just look past these sort of women because they're like, you guys delusional. Like you have like babies by multiple men. You've gotten fat and and you're expecting high quality men. It's just unrealistic. So a lot of these high
Yeah.
quality men
Yeah, I
are
think
either
they're really
seeking.
unrealistic. They're like saying women empowerment, like we must get what we deserve. But did you look at the mirror to know what? I mean, I'm not saying that they don't deserve any good things, but look at yourself first before you act like that. I don't know. Really.
I completely agree. Like it's just unrealistic. Like if you shouldn't be a 5 expecting a 10. Like that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And but you ask them, they all think they're all 8s and above.
Oh my god.
but I
I
mean,
think
if you
it's okay to put some like requirements first, or what do you look for in a person, or something like that. But then you must know, you must be realistic with your options. So you must be realistic with what you're looking for, not look for high standards once you want to put in a pedestal or whatever.
and that's fine if you that's fine to have high standards if you're
Yeah.
if you bring high standards along with you. But if you're of a lower standard and you're expecting someone of a higher standard, there's that is there incongruity there. And I think that's one of the many issues that's going on. The other issue is that when men have standards, they're getting shamed for it. So if a guy says, he wants a woman who's fit, then they're fat shaming. If they want a woman who doesn't have kids, now they're discriminating against women with children. But the realistic thing is most guys don't want women who already had children by other men.
Of course, even me, I don't want a man who has children when I was like younger. Of course, I don't want to be an instant mommy. I don't want to be loshang. We call it loshang, something like that. So, but now I mean, I can accept that. But of course, I still prefer a man without children. I don't want to compete with the children for his attention.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so um yeah,
Of course,
so
I won't
they
compete. They are kids, but there are other like priorities. But if he has children, well, it's fine. I must accept that.
well, yeah, I mean at a certain age, sure, but for God, the incongruity comes from the type of men that these women want. So they want these higher value, high income men, but because these guys are of higher value and higher income, they they have more choice in what they can pick than
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
of a lower, value.
And then if those men ignored them, they will become like, oh, you men. They will make hateful comments about men. They will say all men are like this, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. There is like super toxic.
Yeah, so so it's become this really crazy gender war within the black community. And like I said, it's in America in total. Like it's basically this whole fight between modern men and modern women, because modern women here in America are like feminist, women empowerment sort of thing. Like they think hookup culture is their right, and it's like they don't realize most guys don't want women who've been like with 50 guys, and you want a
Yeah,
high quality.
yeah. I mean, it's their right about that hookup culture. It's their right, but if you try to think of it, you're just destroying yourself. What can you gain from that,
Well,
right?
yes,
No.
absolutely, they're right. Like I've
But
discussed
then,
before.
yeah, it's their right. But then, don't look for a high value man. They won't pick you.
Right, and that's the incongruity is that they don't accept the fact that there's trade-offs for certain decisions you make. Like you have the complete right to ride the the penis carousel for as long as you want, and then you're ready to settle down. That's cool, but you shouldn't expect that guys are going to be cool with that, because that's not what we like. Like if
Yeah.
if if you've had more, if you've had more men than a guy's had women, that's an issue. And it's right now it's come to the point in America where there's a lot of men who are sexless in America because they
Really?
can't find women, whereas some of these women have XYZ amount of partners, and then they think it shouldn't be an issue. But they know on some level they realize it is an issue because they don't want to discuss how many people they've been with. If it's not an issue, then it shouldn't be a problem discussing, how many people you've been with, right? So um it's just really crazy. And then another thing is, So for the guys who are able to travel and find women overseas, now the women shame them for that, saying, "Oh, you just want these women overseas because they can be your slave, or they can be your maid or your cook." Which is funny because basically they're saying, "Oh, you want a wife that actually cooks and cleans for you," which is sort of what traditional
I
women
mean,
did.
it's not about tradition. It's about give and take. In a relationship, you are two. If the man is working, okay, so you need to help him.
He
And
exactly.
also, if you are working, then divide the chores. It's all about helping each other. It's not about like you are a woman, you need to do this. You are a man, you need to. I mean, if you are, for example, you're from overseas and you don't have work yet, and he bring you to his country. What would you do? Just sit on the sofa all day? Of course, you need to cook. You need to clean. You need to help him. You're not a pig for
Right.
him to feed. You're not a pet. So you need to help him. We need to help each other. What can you expect?
Well,
And
they
I saw a woman. She's not skinny. She's obese. And then she's telling like I think she has a degree. She finished college, of course, and has a good career. And then she's saying like, "Oh, I want a man who will cook because I don't want to cook. I want him to do the dishes because I hate doing the dishes. I want this, and want this." And then like, what? And man's like, you're so entitled, but I mean, what would you contribute? What would you bring to the table? You are asking too much.
so I absolutely.
And
So
she's a black woman.
of
Then I
course
remember
I'm not
you.
surprised at
I
all.
remember you. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. At first, really? But then, oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not surprised at all. So recently I'm uh online, and I've made fun of it in some videos in the past. I don't know if you've already looked at them. Uh, there was a woman who went viral of, earlier this week because one of her baby. Look, she has four children by four different men.
Oh my God.
Right,
That's poor,
and
poor
and
decision making.
and she's on food stamps, so apparently she's not working. And so one of the fathers comes there to bring his child some food from McDonald's, and she said, "Well, why didn't you bring food for all of my kids?" He's like, "Because they're not my kids." He said, "Only the
Of
that
course, yeah. And
only
therefore, imagine the expenses. It's times four.
yeah." So she goes back and forth with him, arguing about that one kid isn't going to get food from him if he's not going to provide food for all of her children. And he was like, "Those are your children, not mine. He's my son." And she was like, "Well, they're his siblings, so they all need to eat, or he can't."
Yeah, but
So,
I can
so
understand the mother. Imagine they are all children. All the three siblings will look at the other child and he is the only one eating. So if you're a child and you see like McDonald's smells good, right? And you're hungry and you will see your siblings is the only one eating, it's painful for a child. But I think the father just needs to give like little money, not McDonald's. Just oh, this is for my kid.
well,
So it's something like that. I, I
well, I
can
think,
understand that with children.
well, I
You
think,
sort of experience that.
I think she should have swallowed or used a condom for the other kids. Then,
What?
I said, I think there was other things she could have done instead of having those other kids. I said she could have
Yeah,
swallowed or
of,
used a
of
condom.
course. Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's there already.
I know.
Like
So I'm joking, but
both
the
of
thing,
them. I mean, the mother and the father also has like
so the baby's
they need to
father,
talk about.
so
They
the
need to
baby's
talk about
father,
that.
yeah, the baby's father was trying to reason with her. He said, "I understand." He said, "Why don't you just bring him out, let him hang out with me and eat with me in the
Yeah,
car, and then I'll bring
yeah.
him back." And she said, "No, if the other ones can't eat, then he can't eat either." So
Oh
she just
no.
so she took the food and just threw it on the
Oh
street. Yeah, and
no,
then
that's not nice.
and so then because that went viral, she made a second video trying to explain her reasoning, saying that when he dated her, he already knew that she had other kids, which is true. So that a lot of guys said that's why you don't date single mothers, because you have to deal with issues like that. So they're broken up, but now they have a kid. So he's still trying to be in his kid's life and stuff like that. But the other kids don't have anything to do with him anymore since they're no longer together in a relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's just trying to take care of his kid. He's not obligated to take care of her other three kids. And
Yeah.
he even said, well, I might have bought McDonald's for one or two of the other kids, but I'm not buying McDonald's for all of them. He said, because it's not my responsibility. And so she goes on the second video saying that's his fault because he dated her knowing she had multiple kids, and she's absolutely right about that. He shouldn't have dated someone who already had
It's not
multiple kids.
it's not only his fault. It's both of their faults. Why are you dating? You should focus on your children, not
Right.
multiply. Right?
And then what makes it worse is that, so it came out that this might have been a skit, that she may have made all of this up, but the fact that she made this into a skit and made it go viral, it still brought up these underlying issues in the black community about not dating these single black mothers. And she, because in the video she's talking about she only gets her food stamps once a month, and she has to like budget the money up until then, so she didn't have money to take all the kids out, or get McDonald's and stuff like that for all of them. So he should have provided, since he was providing for one of the kids. Meanwhile, she's claiming she's on food stamps, but she has an expensive hair weave, she has expensively done eyebrows, she has expensive
Oh,
eyelashes. And it's like, are you serious? So it, eyelashes and hair is very expensive. Like,
yeah.
black women, that's another issue, is that black women are very high maintenance when it comes to their hair and nails. Like, just the eyelashes and stuff can come up to a couple of $100 in US money.
Mm.
The same with the hair, and then getting the eyebrows done. So she's on camera basically with about $1,000 worth of aesthetic cosmetics done to her. Meanwhile, complaining that she doesn't have money because she's on food stamps to take her kids out to eat, and that the
Yeah.
guy should provide. And it's just, it all of this just made the situation worse. She thought it made it better explaining herself. She just made herself look worse when she explained it. And
Yeah.
this is all goes into how, why so many guys are choosing the SYSBM, or some of them are choosing MGTOW. MGTOW stands for men going their own way. These are guys who are just giving up on relationships, and like completely. I don't agree with that. I think that's something extreme, and just giving up on relationships completely. My thing was, I was just going to choose women overseas that I can deal with. Like, uh, when I first came back to Baltimore after living out of state, I was at home with my family, and I actually had a sister who was telling me, "Well, you're in your 30s now, so you need to choose. You don't have the you don't have the luxury of choosing women at your age that don't have kids, because everyone your age has kids. So you just need to deal with it, and you shouldn't turn down possibly good relationships with other women just because they have kids anyway, because you might enjoy it." I'm like, okay. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to argue. I just simply applied for my passport, and a year later I went to the Philippines. Um, After I met um, who the woman who is currently my wife. So I didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be stuck dating some chick in Baltimore with kids and being ratchet and all. No, I'm not. So
I think there are men who want to date women with children because they don't want to add more children. But I think
those are the older guys, I think.
it can be a red flag when you're dating a woman with children. The children is too young, like still a baby. I think if you really want to date a woman with children, you at least their children is like teenager already, or just finished education, like like 40 plus. But I guess they
That's
don't like it. They like
that,
younger women.
yeah. So that's some of the older men might prefer being with someone who already had children, whereas I was never married before, and I don't have kids, so I want to
Yeah,
start.
of course.
I,
Who wants a partner with children? It's instant obligation.
yeah, I want to start my own legacy. I'm not trying to um, deal with someone else's children. Like, to put it in a terms that the younger men might understand, I'm not trying to play someone save video game. So I I want my I want to do my own thing, have my own kids, start my own legacy. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a stepfather and having a blended family, but I'm not with that. Like, I think
Yeah.
the generation of men that were more likely to be, um, stepfathers probably died out with my generation, Generation X, because I'm in my excuse me, I'm in my 40s now, so I think we were the last generation that would tolerate being stepfathers because I see that the younger
I
generations
think I think
don't
if
want
you
to do
can
that.
afford the responsibility of being a stepfather, it's okay. But the thing is, the woman that you are about to marry, is she decent,
It's
or
not.
she it's like that. It's just the woman, the choice. I mean, there are a lot of single mothers who is decent woman. They just made the wrong choices before. But how many wrong choices did they make? Like the woman that you're telling me is like four wrong choices. I mean, we have a problem with that. And what does she do for a living? Asking for support, or at the bar, like bar girl? Of course you don't want to marry that kind of thing. If you want to marry a woman with children, at least look at her job. What is her job? What does she do for a living? Look at her
So
background. Look at her environment.
so the funny thing is, over here, it's sort of worse because even the professional level women are doing the same thing. The professional women have the same bad outcomes as the lower class women. So they're both having children, having illegitimate children out of wedlock, because a lot of them are groomed from their mothers telling them to go to college and get a job and don't be don't have a man that you have to rely on, because they're bitter from their own situation, and it's perpetuating this cycle where you have quote unquote independent women going out getting jobs and stuff like that, but they're still having children out of wedlock instead of marrying because they, for some reason, in their twisted single mother logic, they think being married is a bigger burden than having children. So they rather have children and not be married to the guys they're having the children with, instead of being married to these guys first, then having children. Instead, they want to have children, once they're having fun with these
Because
guys, and then later want to get married.
they're expecting that the relationship is just temporary. It's not lifetime. That's why they
Well, also
they
in the
don't want
black
to get married.
community, there's been these folk tales and myths that all black men cheat and beat their women and stuff like that, because all these women have been raised on these novels like The Color Purple and uh, Women of Brewster's Place. All of these famous uh, black novels written by black feminists that portray black men as being evil and beating their women, cheating on them, um, living off their women, stuff like that. Um, and it's perpetuated this myth that women now think is actual history, that there's been this black patriarchy where black guys have mistreated black women, and that's never really been the case. I mean, sure, it's happened, but it's not been that overwhelmingly has not been the case. But a lot of them believe that, and they perpetuate this myth onto their children, and so the the female children are groomed to think men aren't shit, and they need to be independent, go to school, get a great job, and not worry about men until they're in their 30s and 40s. But once they hit their 30s and 40s, they've already hit the wall. The guys who are their age don't want them anymore. They want younger women.
Yeah, I think it's just men and women really don't understand each other because men and women are different. The thing is, they are expecting too much with the opposite sex. The women are expecting too much with men, and the men are expecting too much with them. But Sometimes when it comes to relationship, it's women is teaching men how to treat them. There are a
So,
lot of men that I know that are womanizer, and then they met their match. They met, oh my god, my cat. They met
oh,
the one, and they changed. They stopped womanizing because they realized, those men, they realized they found what they've been looking for. It's like
so,
that.
yeah, so
I'm
the
not saying that it's all women who is at fault, but I think both of them has fault. They are expecting too much with each other. I think before you enter into a relationship, you must know your worth, of course. At the same time, you must know your responsibility. You must know how to be a good partner, how to be a good woman. Before you're asking other people to do the responsibility, make sure you are a good partner. Just like when you're married, right? Like for example, like I saw, what's that, a blog post wherein there is a woman who got bashed because she's cooking 3 meals a day for her husband, something like that, and she was bashed because she's doing that. It's like, you're from the 1950s and something like that, and you're, yeah, because because she's doing it. Of course, the man, I think, is working, and she's showing affection, she's showing love for that man. There's nothing wrong with that.
modern women here hate that. Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean what do you mean she's cooking for him? He should make his own damn food. Or,
Then make
or
your own money. The thing with Western people, they are living. I mean, they are living individually in one roof. So that's the problem.
mm,
Also, when the other has a career, or both of them have career, they are competing with each other instead of helping each other. I mean, if you broke up with your wife or your jowa or whatever, it's not because it's his fault. It's both of you who has fault. You let him abuse you, or you let her abuse you. So both of you has fault.
mm,
It's always two way. I mean, like this one, for example, this is how, like, for example, like, they don't understand what men and women operate like. For example, women needs affection, women needs love, but men, see this, women needs affection, men need sex. Women needs love, men needs respect. Men needs respect as love. So it's like that. And men don't understand that I mean the product of the cause, how can I English that, the cause of sex, it's from affection. If you give affection to women, she won't hostage it. She will make it easier for you. She will throw away herself to you. Like, be sweet, be romantic, but then if you did everything, like if a woman did everything, that she did all her responsibility, and if a man did all her responsibility, still don't work, maybe it's not the right partner for you. And most of us, like men and women, like if we did something like, I'm cooking every day, but in their head, I'm cooking every day, I want recognition. Why would you want recognition? Did you exceed the expectation? I mean, you are doing your responsibility, but you're just doing responsibility, but you're expecting too much. I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's nice when the other partner are like noticing our little effort, but then don't get mad if they can't see it, because it's your responsibility anyway. And he is doing his responsibility also.
right. And I, it's just unrealistic expectations. And definitely, yeah, I definitely find fault on both sides. But like when I say when it comes to how I guess unrealistic some of these women are here back in the U.S., it's creating a schism where a lot of men are just choosing not to deal with them anymore. So that goes into the SYSBM and the passport bros. I guess I can consider myself one of the passport bros. We're one of those guys that say, "Hey, bro, get your passport and go find a woman overseas, go travel." And so I want to kind of shift gears, and you can talk more about what guys can expect coming to the Philippines. I mean, I know personally, but I don't want to just just talk from my perspective. I want like Panay to actually share her perspective of foreign guys coming there, looking for women and what they should do, what they shouldn't do. Um,
But the thing is, they will go to the Philippines. They will go directly to the what's that? To that place,
the red
Subic
light
or
districts.
yeah. I did not know that there is red light districts here because it's illegal here. I
Well,
don't
they
know why it existed.
they are definitely there. So Angeles City is actually the second largest red light district in the world. The largest one is
Really?
the largest is in Pattaya in Thailand, which is another
Okay.
famous destination for a lot of guys. But also Subic Bay, the whole Olongapo. I think
Oh,
I'm saying that right. That whole area because, and most of these places are where military men were. So
yeah.
Angeles City and Pampanga was right next to an Air Force base for the U.S. and Subic Bay was where a naval base used to be for the U.S. My uncle even went there. I remember joking with him a few years ago. I was like, I was like, hey, um, did you ever, date those Filipino women when you were over there? He was like, yeah. He said, but no mama sounds too old for me now. But yeah, so he told me, yeah, he had fun over in Subic Bay when he was in the military. Um, and then another thing is before Angeles City became famous, there was multiple red light districts in Metro Manila. So you had,
Yeah. But
so
the police always raid it
yeah, but they
because
keep
it's
going because a lot of these owners pay off the police so
yeah.
they can keep their bars going. So you have them in Ermita and Malate,
Yeah,
um,
in Manila, there
and
are a lot.
in Makita and on Makita Street. Those are all famous. And then, or in Cebu, you have what is it, Mango Grove or whatever. You have that red light district.
But
Um,
at least I think it's the red light district is bigger in Angeles compared to Cebu.
yeah, because they have the whole
I
walking street, and you have a
I
bunch
think
of bloggers going there.
before they decide to go to the Philippines, they must ask themselves what is my purpose of traveling to the Philippines? Is it to have fun? Is it if it's to have fun, then go to Angeles. Or if I want to look a girlfriend, then don't go there. You can't find the girlfriend there.
Right, and
You
that's and
can find, but I mean, the ratio is very little compared to. I don't know. It's just they're going to the red light. Don't go to red light district. I mean, you
right.
can find beautiful women in Cebu, in Metro Manila also, but not in like Manila with full of bar like that. I think you need to go to a decent place so you can meet woman, not go to the bar.
So
You
and
can't
so
find
it
it
depends.
there.
Yeah, it depends on what they want to do. So if you're coming over just to have fun, I can understand, but I still wouldn't recommend your first time coming to the Philippines going to Angeles City because it's so much stuff going on. You want to be somewhere that's more akin to what you're used to before you go to Angeles City. Like I would recommend people go to Manila or Cebu first because it's more
Yeah.
Americanized. Um,
In Cebu,
and
there are a lot of beautiful women with mixed blood. Like their ancestors are, they look different. Some of them, I'm seeing, like some of them, they
more
don't look
Chinese.
Filipino, not Chinese. They look Hispanic. So if
Oh,
they're looking, but I guess most foreigners don't like that. Even if they're in Cebu, they will still look for the exotic that what they are like calling. I don't know. It's like,
so most people on my channel don't know about it. Explain to them the whole thing about exotic and
oh my.
Morena. If you know,
You know, someone called me exotic before, and I cried because I don't.
uh, you're
You know,
not. No,
okay.
not at all.
I would just. I mean, I watched a video on YouTube, and it makes sense. Like there is a black woman said like, don't call us exotic, although you think it's a compliment, but exotic means rare, right? Who
Mhm.
is rare? The blonde women, right? So they are the one exotic. They have blue eyes. They are rare. Only how many percentage of white women like blonde with blue eyes? They are the one exotic, right? But then in the Philippines, exotic is different. It's like the opposite. of the blondes, the opposite of Philippine beauty standards. There's nothing wrong about being exotic, but the thing is, I don't, I don't
So
but
I'll try
I
to
mean
clear it up. So
I
exo-
mean
so exotic. So for you guys, when someone says exotic, it's basically an underhanded way of calling them ugly because of the beauty
yeah,
standards there.
but
So when
but
someone's referring to someone being exotic, they're saying, "Oh, she's exotic," as in she's not that great looking, or
But let's be realistic. Exotic in the eyes of foreigners, especially white men, exotic like the women, their choice of women, they think they are pretty.
right. So when but yeah,
Yeah,
so when guys from here say exotic, they don't mean it in an insulting way. They mean
yeah.
she looks unique, like she looks like something I haven't seen before. That's what they mean. But a lot of Filipino women won't know that. If they hear a guy calling them exotic, they take it as an insult. So guys,
For
don't
me,
call
I
it
take it as an insult if you call me exotic. Like,
right. So guys, don't call Filipino women
but
exotic.
but
Just
but
say they're beautiful.
yeah, but I mean, there are I don't know. Their description of exotic is looking untidy. I mean, if they say, "Oh, she's pretty, she looks exotic," and then when I look at her, that woman is more beautiful than the other woman. But like for example, this exotic woman that they are saying is more beautiful than the non-exotic one, right? The non-exotic one is just have light skin, but this dark skin is more pretty. But you know what makes them look exotic in the eyes of foreigner? Majority, based on my observation, they look untidy. Not just because of their morena skin. I mean, they don't look as if they. I'm so bad.
No, you can be honest here. Like my channel, I
I
talk
mean,
bluntly all the
here
time.
I here if you see a foreigner with a woman, world are so harsh now. I heard that in a like taxi driver. Me and my mother like booked a grab, and it's a grab taxi, and then we went inside, and then I heard that the driver is gossiping to his other co-driver on the phone, and then he said, "Oh, earlier I had a foreigner, a Japanese foreigner, and he is with a popo." Like, really?
Ooh,
How did you know? In my head, like, how did you know she's a popo? Maybe he assumed because the way she dressed. It,
and
you know,
I want to address that
that's
too
the
because
impression. If you have foreigner beside you, you instantly become a pokpok. So I think what women needs to do is to dress appropriately.
and and
You will
and
go at the mall, you're wearing crop top and then super super short shorts. So are you a kid? You
I
wear
want to
that?
address that too because there's some Filipino men who I think are just envious that these foreign men are coming taking women because not all because yeah, some of them will take the
Not really Filipino men. They are not envious because Filipino men, that foreigner, are choosing the woman that they don't prefer. Well,
right,
they will get
but
envious if a foreigner got a pretty ones. Like,
right, but
they will
the
look at
caveat
her.
is that
Oh,
some foreign men are choosing the type of women they like as well, and they are bitter about that, or yeah, some of them are just color struck and don't like the morena women, but I mean it depends because I remember I had one experience like that. So when me and my wife, while we were still dating, we went to Rizal Park, and I joined in on a Arnis uh, class. Like they were, doing modern Arnis, and they had a grandmaster that came over from the Visayas to oversee the class. And they let me join in and train with them. And I didn't know that while I was training with them, this guy was sitting there on the bench, and he asked my wife, if she was from Subic Bay or whatever. And
what?
yeah, so I got the
See how
implication,
how judgmental Filipinos are. But
and
wait,
she,
before you
but she
continue that,
doesn't.
let me just clarify. There's nothing wrong with being morena or looking exotic. What I am just telling is like dress appropriately, look neat, look tidy, look as if you have a good hygiene. Dress for the occasion, dress for the place, not looking trashy outside. Okay, now so you can continue
Oh
your
yeah,
story.
so she doesn't dress provocatively because I'm not into that. Like like privately, sure, but when we go out, she doesn't dress in a provocative manner or anything like that. She dresses conservatively. So there was
Yeah,
nothing that would make you think that she's a bar girl or a
yeah,
freelancer or a quote unquote walker or pot pock, anything like that. I think he may have either assumed that just because of her complexion or just the fact that she's with a black guy or foreigner in general that she
yeah.
must be
Because she's with a foreigner, people are
right.
judging men
and
instantly, women
and that's
instantly because they are a foreigner.
yeah, and that's my problem is that you just have some Filipino men that are just judging women just off the fact that they're with a foreigner.
Yeah,
What they don't know is that she doesn't like Filipino men. Like she doesn't find them attractive. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
believe in her.
she's dated white men. I was the first black guy she dated, but she preferred foreign men, and it's not because she's unattractive or that she's lower class. Like I said, she her job if she had the job she has now currently in America, she would make more than I do. But because of the different
Why don't you let her come with you? You
so
miss her now, I think.
so I'd rather be there with her than her over here because I don't want America to corrupt her. And
No,
that's
it won't happen. I mean, if you know your wife, if you trust her, if
I,
you think you've made the right decision, it won't.
well
I mean,
a lot of the guys in the SYSBM would prefer to be with their women overseas than to bring them here. Well, some of them would bring them here, but a
I
lot of
think
them.
it. No, don't be scared with your decision. You chose her. It means you should trust her. And I think for example, if the guy or the girl will transfer to other country, of course she needs or he needs to change in order to survive, like how they dress. But of course, I mean, no offense, but when I'm comparing US and some European countries, how they dress, US, you like, they dress more revealing and sometimes trashy compared to other European country where they dress modest. So
That's
it's like that.
true.
But of course, your wife won't dress like that. Won't dress like super super. I mean,
Well, yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. Is just the I think the culture in the Philippines is much better in in many respects than here in the
what
U.S.
are your? I mean, what are your plans? Will just and this became an interview. Like you will just live together. Like how can you have children? Come on, you must be together
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna live, of course, live together, and
because you're apart. I think you. It's like if she will go to the US, you're together, like going to the Philippines, going to the US. Will it work like both of you so you won't separate?
no, I mean, I'll probably just permanently stay there or somewhere else, but I don't.
Oh, in the
As
Philippines, you're
Yeah,
looking
but
forward to
for the
stay
most
there.
part, I'm just sort of done with the United States just for so many other reasons besides dating. Like
Oh,
just many
okay.
things going on in the U.S. just makes it
Oh, so
not
I mean, you're seeing yourself that you want to settle down in the Philippines. That's why you're not bringing her to the US, and you just want to live in the Philippines together with her.
right. Or the
I
other
think
option
that's
is that from a suggestion from another friend who's an expatriate in the Philippines is that he started his own business there that he has both there in the Philippines and in the U.S. So he got a business visa for his wife, so they can travel back and forth. So often they'll spend 6 months in the Philippines and then 6 months
yeah,
in the United States, and they
yeah.
can go back
That's
and
good.
forth. So that's an option as well. But
That's yeah.
but yeah,
As long as
if
you don't have a children going to school, or maybe the children needs nanny.
Well,
So
that's
if you're in the Philippines, they can still go to school and you don't need to worry about them. But I think it's hard to leave your child if they're too young.
so yeah, if it's gonna be either or, it'll be the Philippines over the US. If
Okay.
As like I said, for most black folks who travel, they realize that they're treated much better in almost every other country outside the
I
United
think
States.
I think now in the US is it's scary because of the what's that? Some
Oh,
you know
the
like
anti-Asian hate.
not really the Asian. There are a lot of teenagers who just went to a school and shoot all the people. It's always happening there. It's a bit scary.
Yeah, it's become more frequent. Um, in the last, it I think it really started with the whole Columbine shooting, like back in
Oh yeah,
'99.
I heard that. Columbine. Yeah.
After that, you had a bunch of like copycat mass shooters, and it's escalated because America doesn't want to deal with their gun problem. So I've made a video about that as well. That's a little off topic, but um, yeah, America has been less than inviting for Black Americans. A lot of Black guys and Black women who can travel have talked about how they're treated much better in other countries than
And
here in the U.S.
I think you will want more if your children you will raise your children here in the Philippines because of our culture. I think.
Yeah, and I can send them to one of those international schools
Yeah.
because they
Yeah,
have a
and
few of
the
those.
culture here, how children are respecting the elders. Although some children now they lost respect to old people, but compared to the US,
Yeah, I was
it's
surprised. Like
still
even my little cousins and little in laws, they would come up to me and do the whole thing, and I wasn't used to it because I'm like, hey, I'm
yeah.
not old, but compared to them, of course I'm old.
Even
So
now, when I am visiting my uncle or my grandmother, I'm doing that like that.
yeah,
I'm doing it.
so my wife's aunts and uncles, they were tickled that I knew how to do that. So I
Are
would
you
come up.
doing it?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
do.
doing it?
Yeah, now I call them, Tito and Tita. So
Yeah.
so yeah, they love me. Her family, her mother's side is from what's what area is that? Well, her mother's side is from to what is it? Tarlac. Um,
Tarlac. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Tarlac. Tarlac.
particularly the like Paniki area. That's actually where we got married in Tarlac.
Oh.
And the other side of the family is from but um, what is the province right outside of the Philippines? Up once you go past Quezon City.
Cavite?
No,
I
not
don't
Cavite.
know.
No, on the other
Laguna,
side. No, north.
Bulacan. I don't know where the north. I just
Like
Bulacan.
Bulacan. Yeah, so they're from like San Jose del Monte, Bulacan.
It's
So
just near here, Bulacan.
yeah,
Yeah,
so the
an
first
hour
time
away.
so the first time, I met her family, her uncles wanted to vet me. So that's something people don't do here anymore, is where they have the men actually vet the women who are
What's
gonna
that? What's that? Vet?
vet. I'm sorry. So meaning like they want to check out the guy and see if he's a good person.
Your
So
her
because
uncle?
yeah,
Why?
because her fathers
Doesn't
weren't her father passed away. So
oh
her so her
okay
so,
okay.
so her uncles met me, and she was nervous, but I had fun with them. Like they invited me to come and they just talked with me and we drank. Well, I didn't drink. They drank. I don't drink, but they did offer me a
Well,
beer.
it's good that you did not drink. You made a good impression. Because what they're trying to do, they will make you drunk and then they will let you talk and talk and talk until
Really?
fish will caught in his own mouth.
Oh, so that was a good thing I didn't drink. I thought that was a bad thing.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing you did not drink.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's a good thing that you did
So
not
that's
drink. And
so. so that's why they like me. Okay, so yeah, I had a so yeah, they like me. Like my my wife was a little bit nervous, but yeah, I had fun with them.
Why? I mean,
She's never brought a
if
man to
that's
her.
me, I would protect my man. Like, don't
She's ne-
bully him.
no, she's never brought. Well,
No.
I was the first man that she brought to her family before.
Oh, okay. That's why
Yeah, I had a
she's
fun time. Like,
never.
yeah, she brought me there, and her aunt fixed me some food. It was so good. And they was like, "You want some more?" I was like, "Yeah, I want some more." Then when I met her other side of the family in Tarlac, they loved me too. Like it was a huge. Her mother's she likes her mother's side of the family better, because she thinks her father's side is kind of crazy, but
Oh,
the yeah the Tarlac side, they were great. Like it was a huge family. We stayed
Tarlac.
there.
I think Tarlac is a beautiful province, but I haven't been there. But I think Tarlac is a good province, a beautiful place.
It is. And so one of her aunts that raised her as a who was sort of like a grandmother to her. I remember she was telling me that my wife was was gonna sleep in another bed with her that night, and I didn't understand what she was saying. I thought she said that I had to sleep
Yeah,
with her tonight, and I'm like, um, okay. And I asked my wife what she was talking about. She's like, no, she meant that I that I'm gonna sleep with her tonight and you'll sleep by yourself.
yeah,
I was like,
because
oh, I was
you're
like,
not
oh, okay,
married at that time, right? You're not married
right,
yet that time. So,
right. No, so,
of
but I
course,
was
it's a respect not to sleep in the
no,
same bed.
no, I was fine with that. It was no, what was confusing at first. I thought her auntie was saying that I had to sleep in the same bed with her for that night. I'm like, what? That's what confused me, and it was so funny because my wife was laughing when she explained to me what she meant. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I slept in a separate room. But
How
then it
many
was
days you stayed there during your first meeting with
in
your
Tarlac,
family?
or you mean in the Philippines in general?
No, in her province, the first time. In Tarlac.
Oh, it was just like we just spent the day there. We came there, spent the day there overnight, so I could meet them.
Oh,
Um,
it's just overnight, and then when you go back to the city, you can sleep together.
oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
they didn't know we were living in the same condo at the time. They thought that I
Of
was
course, they don't need to know because they will react. They will say, "Oh my God, what is that?"
yeah, they thought I
Yeah.
was yeah, they thought I was living in a hotel and my wife was in a condo. um, so
But you know what? Believe me, they know. They knew it. They know that. They're
oh, I'm
just
sure they did.
playing blind, of
Oh, I'm sure they
course,
did because
because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to discuss. So they
yeah.
won't discuss it. They will assume that yeah, they knew it. They will just pretend that they don't know.
They like me. I even flew my mother over to the Philippines and she met them as well. She met my wife's side of the family. So they they enjoyed it. It was cool. Like I said, I wanted more guys to know that this is an option for them because some guys think you can only do it if you have a lot of money, and I'm like, hey, you really don't need to have a lot of money. You just need to have a stable income to be able to travel and come to the
Yeah, you need to
Philippines.
have continuous income. I
Now,
see.
if you want to live there, you need to have a way of working remotely though to be able
Yeah,
to have income that doesn't come from you actually physically being in an office in the US. Like if you can work remotely or you can create your own
but
income.
most men, what they're doing, their mistake is they will calculate what their cash on hand, and what if that cash on hand is a retirement, and then they will finish it all in the Philippines, and then they will end up getting broke and blame it to the Filipino, wherein they brag about their money, buy this, buy that, and then
Yeah, you always
what
see videos of these homeless older foreigners in the Philippines because they don't because some of them get taken advantage of by these same women we were just talking about that they shouldn't be dating. Like if you want to have fun with these sex workers, that's fine, but you shouldn't be getting into relationships with them.
But the thing is, they will go to the Philippines saying, I just want to have fun. I just want to have a vacation. But the thing is, they will deal with those women and their emotional intelligence is so weak, they
Or
will get in love. Like, oh, I'm so in love with this bar girl. Okay, now you're
or
finished.
or a few of them will get will get all their possessions stolen. Like they'll have their ID and wallet and all that sort of stuff stolen. I remember one girl I was friends with from my Facebook group. She was asking me, "Can I help this guy out that she knew?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "Well, he's American. You should help him out because he's American." I was like, "So?" I'm not obligated to help him
I
because he's
mean,
American.
will their life get better if they
Well,
would
she
you bring them to the embassy and then they will be deported back to the US? Will the
well
government support them or will someone support them?
Well, she told me he went to the embassy and they weren't able to help him yet. So he was living on the streets. He was a guy from California who worked in a call center and he set all his possessions down and someone took them. I was like, well, he's just stupid. I was like, I wouldn't even do that in America, much less in another country. Just have all my possessions in one bag and just set it down somewhere where someone can easily grab it.
But
Like,
because the thing is, when they see Morena, they got blinded. I mean, if I see a handsome girl, I will get blinded also. I can't blame them.
but it's just people being stupid. But like, why would you set your bag down with your your driver's license, your passport, your money, all that sort of stuff? Just set it on the ground where someone can take it just because you. I mean, I don't care how safe you feel. That's not a good idea to do. I wouldn't do it anywhere, here or
But
overseas.
yeah, they
And
forget everything. You know what? Even if a pole paint it with brown color, they would marry it.
and that's
It's in their head. It's always like that. Like Morena, Morena, I'm blinded. All Morena in the world.
and that's another issue is that then they rely on these women and they don't realize. I mean, with no offense, they're women, so they don't think the same as guys. Guys have to think about their security and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and you can't you can't rely on women to tell you those certain things that you need to look out for yourself. You need to protect yourself. You need to have, like Mike was talking about, situational awareness. um, just being mindful of your surroundings. So
Yeah, I mean, all your life, I mean, for many years, you're alone, you're independent. Suddenly, you will lose your independence in the Philippines and you will just rely on the woman. And if that woman is really caring for you, you won't end up getting broke because she will protect you also. But the thing is, they're not protecting him because those women only wants money.
Well, I mean, the women can protect you in some ways. Like they can protect you
Yeah,
they can protect you from paying the skin tax overseas, because when how they'll charge foreigners more money for certain
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
So my
But the
wife,
thing is, they don't do it. They're like, hey, can you buy me this? Hey, can you buy me that? Hey, let's go here. It's like, it's foreigner. So I can ask anything that I want. It's in their head, something like that. They will think,
right
oh, what I'm asking is just a small amount from you. It's like that.
now, my wife, she loves to negotiate and get and make deals. Like you should see her face.
Yeah.
Like her face, she gets
Because
this look.
I mean, she is protecting you. I know. I can see it with your wife because she cares for you. And
No,
she
she
don't like to, what's that, to let other people take advantage of both of you.
yeah, she like I said, she looks out for me, and she just loves the art of making a deal. Like she gets a look
Oh
in her
my god.
eyes when she gets this look in her eyes when she's trying to make a deal, and she tries to get me involved, and I'm like, don't get me involved because I'm a bad liar. Like because she'll
Oh
be
my god, I can't do that bargaining thing before. I was with my ex and then I told him like, let's buy at the market. We went there and then I thought we can save. I thought we could save a lot, but then when we come home, oh my god, this is more expensive than the grocery because I'm very bad in bargaining. And when you see like not only with foreigner, they can see, oh, she looks white. Maybe she has money. Let's trick her. So what I'm doing is I will just go to the grocery. At least at the grocery, there's like tags, so no one can trick me. I will just put it there, go to the cashier, I'm done. I'm not going to the wet market anymore. It's hard
and
to
so
believe. Unless
and
I'm with my mother.
okay.
But
So for would-be travelers, one of the great things about choosing the Philippines over other places is that English is one of the national languages there. So
yeah.
unlike going to
Because
somewhere
of
like
you
Thailand or
Americans. Because of you Americans, you erased our, what's that? Our Spanish influence. Everything, you erased it.
from what I understand, the Filipinos erased the Spanish influence. They didn't like, you know, when I was looking at some of the Filipino history, from the first president and so on, like when they rebelled against the Spaniards, a lot of them chose not to speak Spanish as a form of rebellion against the
Against it.
Spanish
Yeah. Because,
occupation.
old
There's
people,
still a few
old
provinces
people.
where they still speak Spanish as the
Yeah,
main
it's, I
language
think,
though.
Chabacano. It
Mhm.
sounds Spanishy, but old people, some old people, they still know how to like speak Spanish. But imagine, Spanish conquered us for many years, and you cannot see trace of Spaniards here now because American tried to erase it. Now we are
Hmm.
speaking English instead of like Spanish, although you can hear some similar words in Tagalog in Filipino language, but really,
Well, yeah, and so like for guys who want to travel there, like English is one of the national languages, Tagalog and English. Um, and I had talks with my wife about the language. Like she was saying, it's not pure Tagalog that's the national language. It's sort of like a mixture of like Tagalog with English and Spanish words, whereas the pure
yeah.
Tagalog
And
sounds a little
Chinese
bit different.
also
Yeah.
sometimes. There are words like, it's like sounds Chinese, although it's not Chinese, but it came from a Chinese word like
Mhm.
chaa, toyo,
So
something like
a
that.
lot of the Filipino languages do have some Chinese words in it. When I was looking
Yeah.
at the different languages, but yeah, so that's one of the reasons to come here is that hey, the people actually speak English. Whereas if you want to go to like the Dominican Republic or Brazil or Colombia, you're gonna have to learn how to
Yeah,
speak
they're like,
Spanish. You're gonna have to either learn how to speak Spanish or Portuguese if you go to Brazil. If you
yeah.
go to Thailand, the people speak Thai or Khmer, which is a Cambodian language,
I think they
because
can speak English, but it sounds
they
just
do,
different.
but it's just not a main language. So you can't expect. So once you leave like Bangkok or Pattaya, you shouldn't. It's gonna be. You're not gonna be able to expect people to speak English as much.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like more the younger people who are educated will speak English, but a lot of the average people won't speak it.
And
And
then you Americans, oh, hateful comments. You Americans blaming that, like blaming us. Like at least we know how to speak English.
well, no, and to be fair, if you plan on living in another country, you should probably learn their language. Like I do plan on learning more Filipino. Like I don't know how to speak it, but I was planning on learning. There
It's
was a local
easy when you try to live here. It's
there,
easy. You don't
there
need
was a
to go there.
community college here where they were offering a course in Tagalog. So I said I might take that
Really?
before I come back. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I might take that class and just to get familiar with it. Like my wife, she teaches me words, and I've learned words from friends in the past as well as ex girlfriends. So I know some stuff, but I can't just carry on a conversation. And if someone's speaking Tagalog, it just sounds too fast. Like it's just um, I because Spanish is considered like one of the fastest languages in like European languages, but Tagalog may have it beat as far as how fast it is. So
Yeah, they are fast in talking.
yeah, I've heard people say that about English talkers. Like when I'm there in the Philippines, they tell me, "Can I slow down?" Because you know people on the people on the East Coast tend to speak English a little bit more quickly than people from like other parts of the United States where they
Yeah,
talk
you speak
slower.
fast English. Actually, I think black people.
And
they
I'm actually
are.
slowing it down now.
Hey, is it okay that I'm calling black people as brown? It's
That's
okay, right? Because that's
yeah, that's fine.
Filipinos are brown. We are
Yeah,
brown, right?
yeah, that's
We,
fine.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah, I guess black people they speak faster compared to whites.
well, black people actually have their own dialect. It's been called different things. It used to be called Ebonics in the past. Now they just call it Black American Vernacular English. Um, it it has its roots both in the southern parts of the United States and from West Africa, where some of the ways that people speak it come from. But um, it I guess it depends on who's speaking it. Like generally, people from the northeast part of the United States tend to talk more quickly than people in
Oh,
other parts of the United States because we live a faster type lifestyle. So I guess it matches that we also talk more quickly as well. So people from places in the northeast would be like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, um, Jersey City, places like that. We just tend to talk faster. We're more, we're also tend to be more aggressive. Um, so that's some of those cultural things, I guess.
yeah.
But you'll see the difference. Like if you're talking to someone from the Midwest or from the South, they tend to talk slower. It might be more of a twang in how they talk. People from like California or the West Coast, they talk quickly as well, but you'll notice the difference between someone from California from someone who lives
Oh,
in somewhere like New
really?
York from New York City. Completely two different ways of talking.
Okay.
So,
I just,
have you ever seen
I
the
just,
movie
for me, I
Clueless?
just recognize if the accent is American or non-American. That's the only thing I know.
So if
I
you're not
only
familiar with
recognize
Americans,
like British, was that British accent, Australian, and American. Other nationalities, sometimes I don't understand them. It's like how they say the English. It sounds Filipino to me.
so if you never heard an American speak, they probably all sound the same to you. But if you get
Yeah, they all sound the same to me. Like the A become E. Like instead of Canada, say Canada.
but
Canada.
But if you get people from different parts of the country, then you'll hear the differences. Like if you have someone from Boston, they'll talk completely different than someone here in Baltimore.
Oh,
Because
just like in the Philippines,
Boston
even
English sounds
Tagalog,
more like Boston
we
English
speak it.
sounds closer to British English.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they're from Boston, you know.
Oh, right.
I'm
Instead of
gonna
I can't, I can't.
yeah. So have you ever
Oh my
have you ever
god.
watched Family Guy? Have you heard of that TV show?
No.
It's a cartoon.
No.
So okay, so one of the characters is a baby, and the show they're supposed to be in New England and Rhode Island, but the the baby in the show talks like he has like a sort of a Boston type Massachusetts accent, which sounds very close to British English. Um, so there's a certain dialect in Boston where you would think they're actually like British. So
Oh, okay.
and then
Before Australian, I thought they're just the same, but then I recognize, oh, they're not the same with English and Australians. I just recognize it this year only when I'm
yeah,
watching YouTube videos.
yeah, I'm wearing my linguistics cap here. So even in the UK, there's like about 100 different dialects.
Yeah,
So
even here you will see if the Filipino what province are they from when they speak Tagalog.
yeah,
Sometimes the E become I. Yeah.
my wife has pointed out the different dialects. Like one of her best friends is from Batangas, and she tells me that her, she tells me like her accent sounds different than
Yeah.
people from
Different.
Manila,
Yeah.
or she has cousins to live in what's that really famous island resort everyone likes to go to? Um,
Island resort.
yeah, and
There's a lot of islands here.
I know that's a bad example. The the one where like basically
Batanes.
like all the foreigners go to. Um,
Boracay, Palawan, Batanes.
Pal- Palawan,
Foreigners, not Palawan.
Palawan. Yeah,
They have different accent there.
so yeah, she was telling me her cousins talk completely different over there.
Okay.
so so there's a bunch of different dialects in the Philippines too, but to an American
Yeah.
ear, it's gonna sound the same. So I'm
I
guessing
think we
just
have
like to you.
200 plus. I'm not so sure. 200 plus? It's either 86 plus or 200 plus between those
Yeah, so
numbers.
to the foreign ear, they're always gonna sound the same. Just like to you, all the American accents are gonna sound the same. But to an American, they sound
Yeah.
completely different. So we'll know exactly where someone's from just once they start speaking.
Yeah. At least
But
now I know.
but yeah, like you can tell the guys more about what you know what they can expect. Dealing with Filipino women. Like for me, it's been a good thing. I think I was lucky too because I picked a good woman. I didn't pick someone who lived in the red light district. I didn't pick someone who has a kid. I didn't pick
Yeah.
someone
And
who
you
worked in
did
a
not pick
bar.
Morena because I can see your wife is not so Morena.
Well, most people will
How your
consider
wife
her.
is.
Some people will consider her Morena, but it depends on who's saying
But
Morena, who's not.
but but she's lighter than Morena. She's
Oh, okay.
lighter than Morena.
So okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, some people think everything is Morena, like every like
Yeah, because we
because
are brown race. We are
like
brown
remember
race. We
like
call us
remember you
brown.
like remember you told me someone's told you that you were Morena too. Someone said that.
No,
Remember you told
exotic.
me? Oh,
Exotic.
I thought you said someone also called you Morena before too, and I'm like, how? You're not Morena, but
No, I just named myself brown because I'm brown race. I told him, yeah, brown race, okay? Brown race. I will correct, okay? Don't react.
so
Please.
and so a lot of black men do prefer lighter skinned women too, so that's a plus. Like,
Yeah, because I think we like what we don't have. Right? We like
should,
what we don't have.
well, yeah, like it's
That's normal to human beings.
yeah,
That's why
even
white men like
yeah, like
dark skin here. Not morena skin, but darker than morena. And they think morena is like darker. Like, they think they don't know the morena shades.
right.
There are cream. There are cream. There are coffee with cream. They are darker than cream. No, they don't know that, and then they will just accuse you. Why you look so white? You're not Filipino. Or, oh my God, what's your problem? Don't talk
because
to me.
they don't know in the Philippines like that most of the women are fairer skinned. They think the Morenas are the majority and they're not. Like there's a whole
No.
there's a whole range of skin complexions, but most of the women tend to be fairer skinned in the Philippines.
And you know what? They are those men, those white men. They're blaming like women, like saying, um, all Filipinos don't want to go out in the sun because they are scared to get dark. Not all Filipino. You know what's the effect on our skin, even whether we want to get dark or not. When we are always outside, like under the sun, we will develop a map here, like a gray map. And
Mm.
once it became like grow bigger, what will happen, it will be permanent. It's hard to, even if you spend thousands of pesos, it's hard to remove it. We will look like Dalmatian dog. I don't understand that. It's not
Oh, like
about we
spots.
want to get yeah, it's like big map. That's our skin. Because white men, they will just go under the sun, they will look orange, they will look red, and after a few weeks they will get back to their whiteness. But us, we will get dark, it's fine. We will smell sunlight, it's fine. But then the gray map here, it won't go back. It's hard to go back, even if you have a lot of money. It's hard
The
to bring it back.
the most extreme example I've seen was not in the Philippines. It's actually in China. The women will go to the beach and actually wear face coverings. They call face
Yeah,
kings.
yeah.
Like, and I was like, wow, that looks ridiculous. Like they're going to the beach and these black face masks, and I'm like, that has to be uncomfortable because it's so hot.
I mean, Yeah, and then those American, they're bashing Filipino for like whitening and whitening and whitening. I mean, for us, we don't even think about whitening. They are blaming like, oh, all your products has whitening, something like that. It's not even effective, and we don't think it like that. We're just getting a cream. We're getting a cream not because of the whitening, but we are just getting a cream. It's just there's whitening on it, and most of the people here they get whitening because it can whiten their spots, not their whole face. But then they're bashing Filipinos for that. But when they go, look at Korea. They're not super white, but most of them now are like all,
Using
all
cosmetic
almost
procedures.
like white, super white. Like white is beautiful there. Even men there, they put like fake makeup to look them white, and then they're doing surgery,
Absolutely.
something like
The
that. But then why are they bashing? Why are those men are so bitter?
because like I said, people come from their country to another country and they bring their own personal issues with them
Yeah.
instead of
And then
leaving those. If you're going to travel and meet other people or live in another country, you should, whatever issues you had, you should leave those in your own country when you, and just come with open mind to another country, because when you come into another country, don't expect it to be like your country.
yeah,
It,
and also look, they are bashing Filipinas who has lighter skin, assuming that they're doing skin whitening. But then you don't see your women in your country like doing fake tan.
oh, they
It's
do
it's
worse.
the
It's
same.
it's no,
And
it's worse
you
here. They're
as
getting
a
fake.
man, yeah, and you as a man, you're exposing yourself under the sun to get tan.
It's worse
What's
here.
the
Like that.
difference? Don't be hypocrite, right? They're
Oh,
hypocrite people.
the,
I got
the
really angry.
so it's worse than that. They don't only tan, like they're getting fake butts here. Like they they get these injections into their butts to make them
Yeah,
bigger.
I
But
mean, before you look at other people, look at yourself first in the mirror. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a fake tan. There's nothing wrong with exposing your butt under the sun at the beach. But then don't look at other people's doing. Don't
so
judge them.
that's
It's like
that's what,
don't judge, so you won't get judged also.
like, black men don't, some black men who don't travel don't realize why going to the Philippines would be so great. Like I said, one was the first reason I said is that most people have some understanding of English, so that's good. Um, Two, most black guys are religious, particularly Christian. Some are Muslim, so you got that option if they want to go to the southern islands of the Philippines. But most black men are Christian, so that's another thing. Most
Yeah,
of the folks
that's
there are Christian.
that's a good plus. There would be no problem with Filipinos here because most Filipinos are Christian also, so there's no problem with that.
Oh, third for the guys they may not know, Filipinos love fried chicken. Guys, like they love they love
My
fried chicken.
God, you know what? My father, even if you get, my father likes chicken and pancit, and sometimes I'm so tired of it because every week we have multiple times that we are eating fried chicken and pancit, and
See,
sometimes roasted. Oh, I'm tired of this. I will have
it's
wings.
it's hard to go somewhere where there's not fried chicken. Like even McDonald's fried chicken, Burger
It's
King fried
American thing,
chicken,
right? Fried
Wendy's fried
chicken.
chicken.
It's American thing.
Oh yeah, it was so funny when I first came there, and I think it was either Jollibee's or it was McDonald's, and the lady was asking me what I want, and it was unusual because she was like, "Do you want thigh part? You want breast part? You want leg part?" I'm like, "What are you talking about part? Like, we just say thigh,
Yeah,
legs, or
you,
breast." I was like, "Do you have wings?" She was like, "Oh yeah, we have wings." And I was asking my wife, I was like, "Why don't they offer wings?" And she's like, "Well, they have wings, but here they're really small, so most people don't like wings." I was like, "Well, wings are our favorite part over in America.
I think in McDonald's here, the wings are
They're
are
bigger.
bigger.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I
are.
think wings. I
I
like
like
wings also. I
I
like
love
wings
Jollibees
and
too.
it's not the leg part. I don't like the breast part. It's doesn't have taste. I like legs and wings. Oh my god,
Same
I'm getting hungry.
same here. Same. And so that's another plus, guys. So they love fried chicken, and and something that the guys don't realize. Filipino women are curvy, guys. They have nice butts. Like they're not
Yeah,
as
because we're eating rice.
well. Yeah, they will eat rice with every meal, so be prepared
Yeah.
for
But
that.
now I'm trying to avoid it again because it's been a month now since I went back eating rice, chocolates, carbs, and everything. It's
And
not
so remember,
good.
what I said to you. So I do a little fitness training and martial arts coach on the side. So I always tell people that I'm training, like, eat whatever you want, just eat it in moderation. Like
Yeah.
you can eat rice with every
If
meal,
you
just don't
can
eat
burn it.
a lot of it. Like you don't have to
But the
eat like
thing
a
is, I can't burn it. See, it's just a month, and look, my face is swelling. I thought last time when after my what's that? My gums, my teeth are aching, and it's like super puffy here on the other
uh
side. I said, "Oh, now it's now healed." But when I look at the mirror, oh, now they are both puffy, and now this is fat. This is not teeth anymore.
like like the easiest way to deal with that is like after you eat, just take a brief walk and burn
But
it
the thing
off.
is, I'm lazy.
Well, the one thing that no trainer can do anything about is lazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
you
need
know.
to. I need to start. I will start not tomorrow. The other day after tomorrow.
But yeah, guys, like, hey, Filipino women are curvy, so that's another great thing. And another thing they
Really,
don't
we are
realize,
curvy, like curvy
and
everywhere, curvy on our belly, fats, curvy.
well, I'm talking about like your thighs and your butts. Like guys, like black guys love that. Like
Come
they love.
on, black women are more curvy. They have more beautiful butt, waist, and legs.
Yeah,
Why
but
are you saying that?
that's
Our
all
body, you
they
know what?
that's all they
Filipino
have.
women, I don't agree with you. Wait, Filipino women who has a beautiful body, their body looks like a child. They have curves, but they look like a child. But when you go to Western country, their body looks like a grown-up women, like black women. I love their legs.
Well, yeah, some black women have nice bodies, but the problem I was
Oh,
discussing
you're
with you
so bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm just realistic. Like the problem with
Really?
like I was telling you off camera, like the problem is that a lot of them are overweight, and a lot.
I think it's not only with black women. Most Americans, even white, they
Well,
are.
yeah, Americans in general tend to be overweight because of
Their food
their
is
dietary
large
habits.
serving.
Yeah, they laugh at the size, the portions of food that I eat when I'm in the Philippines. But what they don't know is I burn it all off because I run 10 kilometers every day, and I also then do my martial arts and my strength training. So I'm doing like a 2 hour workout like almost every day, so I can burn off all that food that I eat.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, no, like a lot of them are overweight, and then a lot of the ones who are overweight are also obese, and that's a turnoff for a lot of guys. So they will
Yeah.
literally tell guys that they need to accept fat women and to tell them to stop fat
They
shaming.
need to accept that.
That's
I mean,
really
it's not. Sometimes it's not fat shaming. Sometimes it's. I don't know. Have you heard about the body positivity and something like that?
which
They
is
are
complete BS.
justifying. They're just
So
justifying their lack of
exactly,
discipline. It's lack of
exactly.
discipline. No one is being born obese, but you lack in discipline, and now you will like
So the
complain. Sometimes it's not body shaming. It's not really, but then they will take it as, oh, you're body shaming me. You're fat shaming me. No, it's not really.
so the late Kevin Samuels, who I mentioned earlier, one of the things he used to say was that personal accountability is like kryptonite to black women. um, so he was saying, like, they would like to make excuses for poor behavior instead of just accepting that they need to make
Yeah,
better choices.
yeah.
So living an unhealthy lifestyle is not body positivity. Like
It's
they're
not.
right. Like you shouldn't insult people for being fat, but you shouldn't accept them to think that you're attractive either. So
Yeah. Well, that's what they. I don't really. I don't understand. And
and
imagine it's like
it's so
here.
weird.
Some,
Oh, I didn't mean to
okay,
cut you off.
no, you first.
Okay, so I was saying what is weird is that the women have standards for what they expect out of a man, but when guys have standards as well, they consider it shaming women. And it's like, they expect these guys to be 6 foot tall, have a six-pack abs, make six figures, and have a 12-inch schlong. But
But
when the
they are
guys
obese and
but when a guy
lazy.
but then when the guys say, well, I expect you to be fit, I expect you not to have any kids, um, you know, I
I
expect you to
expect you to
I,
help me. We can
I
help
yeah,
each other, but you're
I,
lazy and so
I expect
entitled.
yeah, I expect you to be able to be, submissive. And it's like they're like, well, no, that's not right. You know, that's toxic masculinity. I'm like, well, you can't have it both ways. Like they they want modern women want traditional men, but traditional men want traditional women. So you can't have it, both ways. And the whole body positivity thing is a whole aspect of that, where fat women think that it's a good thing to be body positive. And in some degrees, yeah, you should not have a poor outlook on yourself just because of how you look. But sitting there trying to glorify being morbidly obese is not it's insane.
Yeah.
Like like Lizzo, for instance. I don't know if you've heard of this singer, but she's morbidly obese. Like she's bigger than a man her size would be. Like, and the funny thing is she gets mad at men who body shame her for being fat, but she doesn't like to date fat men. She wants fit athletic men. Like she
Oh,
used to have a huge she had a huge crush on Chris Evans, the guy who plays Captain America
okay.
the Marvel movies. Like she used to like flirt with him online, saying he's going to have my baby and this and ridiculous stuff like that. Now, if a man was saying that about a female celebrity, he would be called creepy and a stalker and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But she can get away with this saying this sort of stuff to him. But he's such a nice guy. He always like just laughs it off, and he doesn't get mad because he's a good guy. But imagine a guy doing the same thing to a female celebrity. Like we can name like one in the Philippines, like what's that name? Uh the the girl that was in like a lot of those action movies and stuff like that.
Who is that?
I can't remember her name, but like she's done a lot of movies, or any other like Philippine celebrity. Imagine like some regular dude just like saying that he's gonna get with her and this and that. It would be creepy. And he's like this. He's like
Yeah,
some like he like say he's some
we
fat
know
broke
that.
guy.
We have a we also like we have a saying here like if the man is handsome, he is admirer, but if the man is ugly, he is a stalker.
Exactly. That gets to my exact point. And it's like she can't get mad at guys for fat shaming her when she won't date fat guys herself. Like she needs her guys to she expect guys to be, making the same amount as her because she's a celebrity who makes millions of dollars and to be fit and in shape, but she's not.
Yeah.
And then her supporters are just as delusional because there's been a few times where she was on her Instagram saying that she was going to get into shape and start exercising, and they were saying, "I thought you were for body positivity. You're betraying us." I'm like, so she decides to get to care about her health, and now she's not about body positivity anymore. That's
No, it's still.
ridiculous.
I mean, exercising. I mean, it's still body positivity.
Exactly, but
You need to be healthy.
that's how delusional women are here. That's why you have guys.
Body positivity. What I think they see body positivity as lacking in discipline.
Right, and so that's why I'm advocating for guys like in the SYSBM group and the Passport Bros to look at Philippines as an option. Thailand is a good option too. My issue with Thailand is just that they don't speak English, so it's going
And
to be
I think
harder.
they are like asking for dowry. I think.
Uh I'm not sure because
I watched some reality show, 90 Day Fiancé, and then
Oh, oh,
the lady.
You watched that
No, not
too?
really. I just saw that on YouTube, and then I get tired of it. They're full of drama. But
Watch
then
the one in the Philippines.
the woman's family in the Thai woman, they're asking big amount of money from the American, and that American guy is not even rich, and he is having a problem about the money. He even borrowed money from his friend,
Yeah,
and then oh, they still have dowry.
and that's what I was trying to tell these guys. Like I've finally convinced my friend to start traveling. He traveled to Jamaica, which was his first time outside of the country. But now he said he's going to travel more. I think he's going to go to Bali and the Philippines and stuff like that. And I was telling him and other guys, you don't have to be rich to travel. You just need to have stable income. But
Yeah,
if
you
you
need
want to
to have
live,
continuous income.
yeah, but if you want to live overseas, then you need to have a way to make money that's not tethered to being in the United States.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the Philippines is a slightly better option than Thailand. I think either or is good, but I would choose both of those over going to Brazil or Colombia or Venezuela or Dominican Republic. Um, just because I'm you know I'm looking for Asian women specifically, so I'm not going to Colombia or
Yeah. Why
Brazil
are
just
you
to
guys
find.
looking for Asian women?
I can't speak for everyone. I can say for myself, the reason I am is just because I have a huge fetish for Asian women. I don't know
Really?
where, I don't know how it started or where it started, but at least like it probably started just seeing different women when I was in high school. Um,
Yeah, because you like what you don't have. So Asian women looks different
no,
compared to the most
the funny
people you're seeing every day in the US. So like, oh, they look different.
no the funny
Looking
thing
exotic in
was
my eyes.
the funny thing was I didn't even think of dating them. They were actually attracted to me because I had moved somewhere where it was like more multicultural, and a lot of these Southeast Asian women like black guys, like the Vietnamese women, the Cambodian women, the Filipino women. They like black guys, and I wasn't aware of that until they started flirting with me. And
No, Filipino women, they don't really prefer black guys. But I can
yes
see
and
that
no.
they was that you are was that when they get to know you and based on how you look, you don't look scary just like other black guys because you look presentable. You are was that you they will prefer you. I mean, it's not about you. They like you not because of you being black, but they can see you, how you present yourself, how you like how you are. As in, it's you.
well,
It's not
well,
about you being black.
and that gets to a point I made earlier is that you know the guys traveling should leave those sort of issues at home. Like don't come overseas acting like Pookie and Ray Ray. Don't when you come overseas, be yourself, but leave all that toxic gangster stuff at home if you were into that before. Most black guys aren't really into that. I think it's more of a stereotype, but a lot of the guys who are into that, black women do prefer that, which is another reason why a lot of guys who don't fit that mold want choose women out of their outside of their race because they don't want to uh, they don't want to be stuck in that little stereotype that they have to behave a certain way to be black. There's a lot of black women have this thing where they want their guys to be sort of like thugs but professional at the same time, and it's just unrealistic. Like you can't expect a guy to be both professional and street minded. Like those are two different ways of being. And yeah, so there's a lot of guys like me who don't fit that mold who ended up dating outside of their race because they felt more comfortable with those women. Now, for me, my own personal preference was that I just wasn't attracted to black women anymore after I left college. And so I started dating other types of women, and Asian women became my favorite. So much so that I told you I created my own
They're
term
your
that's now
favorite.
used. I created a term that's now used all over the internet, and most people don't realize that I started the term, which is rice bunny. Remember we talked about
Okay.
that. So before black guys used to have a term for white women. They called them snow bunnies. Because they're basically because they're white
They
and
were.
they like cold weather, so they call them snow
How
bunnies.
about black women?
There was
What
a
do you call
term. Well, I've heard summer bunny, but I haven't heard anyone use that in a long time. But I've heard them called summer bunnies. But for the most
why?
part, they just
Because they're darker. It's summer.
darker and
Like that.
they. I guess it wasn't too clever to me. That's probably why the term never caught on. But rice bunny caught on, and like I said, most people on the internet don't realize I was the first one to use that back in like 2011. Because and I see it being used differently than how I originally made the term. I originally meant the term just to mean like a pretty Asian woman, and now people use it in different ways. Like some people use it to refer to white women who hate Asian women, or to men who prefer Asian women. I'm like, that's not what it means, guys. It just means
Okay.
a pretty Asian woman. And now
Okay.
I see in China they're using the term too, but they're using it for political reasons. So
Oh, okay.
in America, the whole Me Too movement caught on like 6 years ago, where it was talking about women who were being um, sexually harassed and assaulted. And the Me Too movement was, hey, Me Too, this happened to me too. So it became a whole hashtag online on social media. So that spread to China recently, and they start saying Me Too as well. But Me Too in Chinese was rice bunny. So they were saying rice bunny to kind of hide that they were saying the Me Too movement. So they were
Have
it
you
stood
been in
for.
China?
Well, I've been to Taiwan, so depending on what political side you fall on, that does count as China, or for others, it doesn't count as China. But I've been to Taiwan a few times. Um, but it's obviously different than mainland China. So whether you
Yeah.
consider it a separate country or a part of China,
Yeah, but they're
it's
separate
different than
countries
mainland.
now, right?
Yeah, there is completely different than mainland China. I loved it there. The people were really polite. Um, the food was good. I went somewhere where I was going to go on this mountain hike, but I ran out of time before I had to go back, get back to where I had to go before I went to the Philippines. Um, but yeah, they had a train station underground where there was an entire shopping mall that's underground that connected to their subway station. So
Okay.
yeah, this is in Taipei, in the capital city. So yeah, it was great. So yeah, I've been to a couple of Asian countries like Taiwan and Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Japan, and there's a few other places I plan on going to now that everything's starting to open back up again. And that's what I was saying to guys, like, there's different places you can choose from, but for me, the Philippines was my preference because people speak English. Um, Now in Tokyo, they speak English too, but after you leave Tokyo, it's not going to be a lot of places in Japan where they speak
Yeah.
fluent English. And actually, in Tokyo, you'll walk around and there'll be a lot of places to say no foreigners on the door, and it's not because
Oh,
they hate. It's not because they hate foreigners. It's because they don't speak English in those
English.
stores, so they don't want people coming in there that don't speak Japanese. But obviously, if you're a foreigner and you speak Japanese, they'll allow you in their store. They just don't want people who don't speak Japanese in their stores. But most of the folks in Tokyo, especially the younger crowd, they're fluent in English. But if you want to choose a country where generally anywhere you go people can speak English, I would say the Philippines. Like I
Yeah,
said,
because we're using English as our like
sec-
language for our government.
uh-huh. Yeah, so like I said, the national is considered one of the national languages.
Yeah.
And even when people speak Tagalog, they mostly mix it with English. They, Taglish,
Yeah.
like a lot of people who
Yeah.
speak Tag,
And
like,
sometimes we have words that we can't translate in Tagalog. We are only speaking it in English because it's too
yeah,
funny to translate it in Tagalog.
right. So yeah, that's overall why I would tell people to go there. The women are pretty. They speak English. Um, what else did I say? Well, something else I didn't mention is it's very affordable. Um, they love fried chicken for the black guys. The women have nice butts. So
Really?
For
Because
us,
maybe
yeah.
because of the rice.
I
I
mean,
mean, black
from
women have nicer butt than Filipino. You're
yeah,
just being bitter. Come on.
no, it's not. But no, I never said black women don't have nice butts. But if that's all they have, that's not enough. We also want
Maybe
women.
compared to white women, because white women, their bone structure are more masculine compared to black women. Black women, their muscle is like smooth. They have round, like a candle. Their legs, while white women is more of like full of muscle. It looks, it's not, the body of black women is more feminine compared to the, I'm not talking about obese women, but the regular black women who's healthy is more, her body is more feminine compared to white girls.
Oh, I'm pretty sure my viewers will agree with you. That's why I said some of them they will still choose to go to Latin America over Asia because they still want black women. They just don't want black American women. So they'll go
Oh,
to Dominican Republic and find Afro Latinas, or they'll go to
plus
Brazil.
they look younger compared to white girls.
Well, they say
Black,
black doesn't crack. Like I'm in my 40s, and most people think I'm still in my like early 30s. But again, that's because I exercise. I don't smoke or drink. I don't get high. So I still look
I think it's because of
youthful.
the genes, or I don't know, but
It's
yeah, but
it's genetics, but it's also how you take care of
white
yourselves. Like
people, they age faster compared to black people.
that's true. That's one of the reasons I put a white woman because it's like once they hit 30.
Yeah, when I sometimes when I'm watching TV, like the celebrity, she's a celebrity, so I assume that she's doing a lot of good skincare. Like, what? She's just 30. She looks 40 if she's Filipino. Like, what?
That's a similarity. That's a similarity that a lot of blacks and Asians have is that we
Maybe because
age.
it's
We
colder
we,
there
we
and skins are getting drier if it's cold. I don't know.
I think it's genetic. Like I said, Asians seem to age gracefully too. Like there's a lot of women there. Like most people probably wouldn't know how old you are. I didn't. So I
I'm turning 37 this
oh you
year.
oh I was gonna say you don't have to tell them, but I'm pretty sure no one would have guessed that. I thought you were in your 20s. So
Yeah,
yeah, a lot.
maybe yeah, I don't know. Because I have fat cheeks.
But yeah, so I mean, as far as attractive women, black guys are definitely going to approve. And like I said, unlike some of the other Asian countries where I went to, Filipino women are more curvy. Something they don't know is that there actually are a race of black people in the Philippines.
There
the
is.
the Aita people.
Yeah.
I actually plan on going to one of their villages when I come back to visit. I want to visit one of their villages. I actually saw a video. There was a Black American guy in one of the Aita villages, and one of the women kept trying to flirt with him. She she kept trying to get with him, saying, "Hey, why don't we, hang out and do such and such?" And he was like, he thought she was joking, but she was serious.
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny. Um, but yeah, a lot of so there's that cultural connection there. There are some Filipinos who have that ancestry, the Aida ancestry or Negrito ancestry.
Yeah, I think the Aita is the first who stepped in the Philippines. It's
So they're
Aita, Indonesian, and Malaysian. They're
mhm,
the first.
right. So that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of black people feel comfortable in the Philippines. Like I met other black people when I came there. Living in my condo. I saw other black people, and I was surprised because I was thinking I was only gonna meet like older people, especially like the only black people I thought I was gonna meet were older people. But I saw some my age and younger there. I met some other who were veterans like myself as well. So it was cool. Like when I was when I got married, like I had randomly stopped somewhere in Papanga, and it was just a black dude just chilling there. He was like, "Hey, congratulations!" I was like, "Thank you." Like so that's another thing is that you can find other black people in the Philippines, guys, if you want to link up with folks. I met a friend in Manila, going to the comic convention, the Manila Pop Comic Con that happens, at the Mall of Asia at the arena,
Okay.
right around there. He was a black guy. He was from my same state. He was from Maryland. He lived in a different area in Heights in no, I'm sorry, Largo or Landover, and I'm from Baltimore. But I was like, hey, where you from? He's like, Maryland. I was like, I'm from Maryland. And we started talking and we became friends. I found out that he made a living over there, um, completely unrelated to what he was doing. He had his educational background, and he had a master's in psychology. So he was going to originally
Look
become
at
a
my cat.
counselor, and he
He's
actually,
joining the live stream.
yeah. Oh, the cat. Oh, well, we have another guest.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he came there and he actually taught at a university for a little while. Then he stopped. He said he warned me to never work for a Filipino because he said it was a horrible experience. So he ended up forming his own business. He has a he has a food he has his own food business there in the Philippines, and he brings it to America as well. He calls it Maryland chicken, but he does fried watermelon, deep
Oh,
fried watermelon, which
really?
sounds which sounds weird,
What
but it's
does it
actually good.
taste? I haven't tried it.
I haven't tried it yet either. I keep forget every time he's here. I haven't gone to his food markets, but he does the local food markets in Metro Manila, like in different places, like in BGC and Makati and all
Oh,
those sort of places. And he also has his own comic book company
what's
called
that? Is it crunchy or the fried
I
water?
I guess it's sort of like, I don't know how to describe. I haven't had it, but I've
It's
seen
like a
pictures of
chips,
it.
like thin
It's deep.
chips.
It's no, it's like deep fried. So it's like like um, I don't think they have hush puppies in the Philippines, right? So
Oh,
I'm
something
trying to.
like that, like small nuggets.
Yeah, it's sort of like a nugget, but not. It's
Oh,
not
it's a bread
crispy.
thing. Oh,
It's
it's not.
It's more bread like
Oh, I
like
haven't tried it.
like a donut.
I'm curious.
Yeah, you can reach out to him. Well, he's currently in America now with his wife, but he'll come back. But his food markets, he sells chicken as well. But his the thing that gets a lot of people there is the deep fried watermelon. And he also has a comic book company. He's friends with a guy who became really famous for the show called Tressie that came on Netflix. So he's tied into the indie art scene in Manila. So that was really cool. Just randomly meeting another black dude and befriending him, and he can teach me stuff from living in the Philippines longer than I think he's lived there over 7 years now, maybe longer.
Oh,
Like I said, he's had a huge experience from teaching there to starting his own business. Um, he got married to his wife there as well. They already have a kid together. Uh, so yeah, I think it's definitely a good option for guys to come there and travel or possibly even live there if they have the money to set up. A good way to do so is to start your own call center. That can be a way for guys to live there. Just don't end up like what's the guy from that other channel that got deported, um or is getting
what's that?
deported.
Yeah, the
uh
black guy.
yeah,
I
don't
forgot.
end up like him.
I forgot his name. I watched him once, and then I got stressed on how he speak. Like I don't understand what
Meets
he. I
so
don't understand his
actually
the way
he
he speak.
you're
Like
not the
what's that? Is that even English? I don't understand. I just switch.
Yeah, I have nothing against the brother. He seems cool, but he is inarticulate. Like even for an English speaker, he's inarticulate. Like I couldn't enjoy his videos because he doesn't he doesn't speak well. So
Maybe he has other language. He's not really using English. I don't know.
no, it's English,
I
but
mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not good in English, but exactly, I'm not
no,
good in English. That's why I don't
he
understand him.
well no,
So I
he's speaking what I was telling you about before, black vernacular English. So most black people are not bilingual, but bi-dialectic. Like they can switch between standard English and black English. So
Yeah.
they'll normally speak black English amongst each other, and then when they're in a mixed crowd or around white folks, they'll switch to standard English. But some people who don't have that education don't know how to switch over to standard English because they haven't been
Oh,
taught it.
okay.
And he doesn't seem to speak well just because he doesn't know how to speak in a more I hate to say that because I don't want to talk ill of him, but he doesn't speak in standard English, so it might be hard for people to follow him who aren't American, and even for folks who are American, if they're not used to black English, they may not understand what he's saying. So you,
Yeah, I
I,
don't understand him. I get headache. Like, okay, I will just switch video. I really.
now I know people say I talk too quickly when I'm in the Philippines, but I
But I
can
can
slow.
understand you. I can
Right,
understand you.
right. And if someone says they don't understand, I will slow down because I'm used to doing that when I work when I managed the call center too. Like sometimes I would take calls as well, and when you call in different parts of the United States, people tend to talk slower. So I would tell people that I'm managing, or if I'm on the phone myself, talk more slowly when you're talking to people from the southern United States or from the Midwest because they don't understand how we talk in the Northeast because we tend to talk more quickly. So if I was talking to someone else from where I am, the pace of how I'm talking right now would be much more quick. But if I'm talking to someone who I think is from the southern parts of the country, or if I'm talking to a foreign person, I tend to talk more slowly so they can understand what I'm saying. So that's you have to know your audience. Like if his audience is just American people, that's fine. But if he wants to reach people outside of the U.S., I think he needs to change some of the format of how he talks on his
Yeah.
videos. It's not because it's not comfortable listening to him, even for me.
I don't really understand him. I mean, my nose are bleeding while listening to.
I know, yeah, nosebleed. So guys,
Yeah.
that's if you ever hear a Filipino say their nose is bleeding, that means they can't understand you. You're talking too much English.
Yeah, or we can't really speak English. Like, oh my god, it's hard to English those words. It's hard to translate it in English. So we're like nose bleeding.
Yeah. So what I would do, I used translation apps and stuff like that before I learned a lot of Filipino. So if I'm in those groups, in those dating groups where it's like Filipinos and Filipinas, and they don't really understand English, I would tell them, "Hey, say what you gotta say in Tagalog, and I'll just translate it." So you know, that's that's one of those things. That's why I tell guys it's better to come to the Philippines because imagine how worse it would be in another country where they don't even speak English that much at all. Like I remember, like in Thailand, like it was a woman walking around and she actually had on a hat from my university. I'm like, what is this lady doing with a University of Maryland hat on? And I was pointing to her. I said, "Hey, University of Maryland." I said that's my school, and she thought I was weird. She didn't understand anything I was saying. She just thought I was a weirdo because like I was pointing at her hat. I was trying to tell her that that's the college I went to, but she did not know what I was talking about. And because she didn't speak English, I couldn't ask her where she got that hat because maybe she got it from a foreign boyfriend or something like that.
Or from thrift store. Maybe
Maybe,
someone sold it there.
and maybe so. That that reminds me of going to Divisoria. That was a fun experience. I never seen so many knockoffs in my life.
Yeah, there are a lot there, and then the thing is, the knockoffs are bad, and some Filipino don't even know that they are using knockoffs.
Oh yeah,
I've
it's
seen some old people like 40 plus years old, and I saw, oh my god, what's that? When did Gucci and Louis Vuitton collaborated?
they
I
have
mean,
so
the
I would tell
print
people
is Louis Vuitton, but the handle is red and green Gucci. What?
I would tell people to go there
They
just
don't even
because
realize it.
I would tell people go there just for the experience and buy something just because you can keep it as a souvenir or give it to someone as a souvenir. But you shouldn't go there looking for quality products.
No,
But
it's not good quality there.
it's three different levels of knockoffs over there. So you have the knockoffs that are almost like the real thing,
Yeah,
except
replica. Is
so
that
yeah,
replica?
so yeah, those are like the grade A knockoffs. Then you have the like the grade B knockoffs, which are you can tell they're not the real thing, but if no one's noticing, it can pass for like the real thing if no one's noticing. Then you have
If no
the
one has that, like for example, me, I have that. When I look at it, oh,
then you have then
I
you
don't
have
know,
the
like
then you have the lowest level of knockoffs where they don't look anything at all like the real thing.
yeah,
Like I remember going to look for Jordans and it was saying Jordan, but it had LeBron on it. I'm like, wait,
yeah, they collaborated. Like what?
I was like, are
It's
these
funny sometimes.
yo, it was hilarious. I was like, are these LeBron James or is these Michael Jordan? And then instead of so on Jordans they have the emblem where it's like a guy that's like sort of like doing a dunk and he has his hand up, um, doing like he's doing a dunk on a
Oh,
basketball. But instead on these knockoffs, both arms were up. So it looked like a cheerleader like jumping up in the air.
oh my god!
It was so hilarious. I wish I had bought those.
But the thing is, if you will just buy I mean, the replica or the what's that, the one that looks like super real, it's expensive. Then why would you buy that? Then buy the original one because it's expensive also.
And
That's expensive.
that's another thing people don't know about the Philippines. Filipino guys love their sneakers, like just like black guys. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
they
Filipinos
like
love
sneakers. And
they love
even
their sneakers.
like gay people, they would joke to the gay people like, "Hey, you gave him rubber shoes. You gave him rubber shoes already. Why are you guys like that?" It's a joke because yeah,
Like
guys
I
here
remember,
they like nice shoes. They will brag about it. Like
oh yeah,
yeah.
my first time there 5 years ago, I had on my brand new LeBron James. I had bought them just for me to be there. And one guy was like, man, he said, "Whoa, LeBron James." He said, "Good shoes." I was like, "Thanks." I was like, "Okay." I didn't know they knew about sneakers. I was like, "Okay."
They like rubber shoes. They like sneakers. We call it rubber shoes, not really sneakers. Like, oh,
yeah,
rubber shoes.
yeah. Even in the U.S., they call them different things. Like some people call them basketball shoes. Some call them in Baltimore. They like to call everything tennis shoes. Um, some say sneakers. Some call them kicks. I just say sneakers because everyone knows
Yeah.
what you mean if you say sneakers. But
But
yeah, they
sneakers for me is a chocolate. I'm just kidding.
but yeah, so it was fun. Like I said, I wish I had bought a few souvenirs from Divisoria because I mean I bought some stuff, but I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy any of the knockoffs there except for like some sunglasses. They looked like the real thing, but
Oh. But I think you can buy also in Divisoria like other stops, like not the fake ones, but some cheap stops. We're buying there in Divisoria before, but now it's hard to go there. Like for our store to
yeah,
get to sell.
that's some good stuff. Or another funny thing, they were trying to convince me to get shoes that were too small. Like I told them I was looking for some Nikes, and they showed me some Nikes and another brand of sneakers. I was like, well, I'm just interested in the Nikes. I was like, do you have these in a bigger size? They was like, no, you can. It's like try on the size 8 or whatever. I think it was like size 7 or size 8. I was like, I'm size 11. That's not gonna fit my feet.
Yeah.
They was like, no. They was like, no, just try them on. I'm like, that's not gonna fit my feet. I was like,
They
I
were
can't.
just trying to sell you. I mean, they don't care about your size. They just want to sell the rubber shoes.
Yeah, I was like,
They just want to have sales.
yeah, I was just like, I didn't get mad at anything. I was just laughing. I'm like, that's way too small for my feet. And I I guess my feet are really big compared to a Filipino because I remember my wife, her friends came over our condo when I wasn't there, and they saw my shoes there. They was like, "Oh my god, whose shoes are those?" And she said that her that's her husband's shoes, and they were just looking like Okay. So I left that alone. We chuckled about that, but um, yeah. So you have to go if you want sneakers. You gotta go to like the main, the main athletic stores. You can't go to like Divisoria because even if you find the right size, it might not be the shoes that you want. Or if you do find the
And
shoes that you want, it
sometimes,
won't be the size you want.
sometimes they will trick you, and you will realize, wait, I mean, I will just add few more hundreds and I can buy the real ones
and then
sometimes. Or
and then
sometimes they're more expensive than the real ones
and then I think
because
right next to
they will take advantage of you,
and I think right
especially if,
next that's true. And I think right next to Divisoria, you can just go to the Chinatown Mall that's right next to it.
yeah.
So from Divisoria you can just go to the mall if you can't find what you want at Divisoria. I think Divisoria is just a good place to buy like cheap souvenirs and stuff. Like we would go
Yeah.
there to buy gifts
There
for.
are there are like real brands in Divisoria, but I think it's like local brands if you want to buy like, for example, what's that brand? Micaela. It's a mid-range brand. It's not high-end brand. You will see it at the mall, but when you go to Divisoria, they have like a Micaela boutique there, and then when you go there, all the prices or all the products are cheaper compared to the mall here because
Yeah,
they need to compete with other cheap stuffs there. I
yeah.
bought there a blouse, 100 pesos.
Yeah,
But when you buy it here, it costs like less than 1,000 because it's sale there.
yeah,
At
it's
least it's
fun.
not way, and
It's just
it's
fun going
cheaper.
there. Yeah, and it's just fun going there to seeing what they have available. Like I said, we bought some stuff and we bought like a lot of souvenirs because my wife has like a dozen different godchildren, so we had to buy buy them stuff.
It's nice to
So
go to the Visoria. Actually, I enjoy going there. You can see a lot of things there. Like
mhm.
when you go there, like after a day, oh my god, I'm broke. I bought a lot of things.
Now I'll buy food like especially
Yeah,
when I'm
fruits there are more cheaper compared to here.
mhm.
Fruits, vegetables. The
Yeah. So
struggle is you need to bring that home, or we will ride a train.
well we
Yeah.
always take like a grab or something like that because I
It's too
refuse.
far from us. Like Grab. Imagine from Recto to Katipunan, and then it's traffic. We tried that before. It's traffic, so
Oh, it takes
we
a long
ended
time to
up.
get home, but I'd rather
Yeah,
that. I can't do trains or I can't do like trains or buses or anything like that. Only time I'll take the bus
hard.
is like only time we do a bus is like if we're traveling to another
Oh
province.
no! Don't ride the bus. It's dangerous.
Oh, I know. I've heard. I've actually haven't had too many experiences. So I guess this is one thing I should tell people traveling is that they also should be careful when they come to the Philippines because there will be some people who might target them for being foreigners. I haven't really had anyone try to attack me, but I've seen people like thinking about it. So I remember coming from, I think it was either Mega Mall or Mall of Asia, and I had just bought like a tuxedo, and my wife had bought some stuff. This is before we got married, and this guy was just walking back and forth looking at us. I was like, he really wants to try me, doesn't he? And my wife was just looking. I was like, I wish he would try. I was like, this guy doesn't know I'm like a martial arts expert and an army veteran. I was like, I don't think he really wants to try that today. So he's just walking back and forth. And then she also told me about pickpockets. So like how you'll get on the bus and then they'll line up right behind you to try and
Mm.
pick your pocket and you're not aware. So I remember we were coming from the Mall of Asia and it was all these guys. They looked like they were a bunch of pickpockets because she said they always travel in groups,
Yeah.
and they were going to try to get behind me. So what we did, we just let them step up, get in front of the line, and then went to the back. And so when they saw us do that, then they left. I was like, yeah. I said, I knew, I knew it. They were. I said they thought they were slick. I was like, I'm not falling for that. I'm from Baltimore. Like I'm from one of the. I'm literally from one of the most violent criminal cities in the United States. So we're a little bit more street savvy than people coming from other parts of America that don't know any better. That's why I always make fun of these people who end up getting robbed in the Philippines. I said, because if I'm not getting robbed in Baltimore, I'm not getting robbed in the Philippines. Yeah, so it was some pickpockets, tried us. What was another situation? And I've walked through bad areas. Like I've walked through the slums of Makati. What was it? What uh
Rembo,
what's
something like that.
no, the place is like right across the bridge, like when you're leaving Mandaluyong and you cross the bridge and now you're in Makati. Starts with a G. Um,
G? I don't know.
but it was a bad area. It was like a slums. But I was like walking through there. People would just wave at me because, of course, I was walking through
Really?
there. I was walking through there during the daytime. I wasn't walking through there at night. Um, and Mandaluyong was pretty safe even at night. Like I was walking around there at nighttime. Like I would go to some of the massage places after I came from work and go to some of those places at nighttime, and it was fine. I even met like a bunch of street kids. They were asking me for money, but they weren't harassing me or anything. But they asked me for money, and I was like, oh, I don't have any cash on me. And they were just sitting there talking to me. They was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm from the United States," and stuff like that. Like they were just more, I think, excited to meet a foreigner than trying to do anything bad. It was funny though, 'cause I was like, "How old are these kids?" I was like, "They're smoking cigarettes. They look like they were 8 years old." But they were probably older. But just because they were Filipino, they probably looked younger to me. They were probably like teenagers, but they looked like 8 years old to me. But I have fed street kids too. Like I've seen like little ones like follow me like when I went to McDonald's or something like that, and they say, "Hey, can I have some?" They say, "Hey, can I have some food?" And so like I would buy my food, and then I would like buy like a Happy Meal or something, and come outside and give it to them, or I would give them, or like if I'm going somewhere, I would give them my leftovers, stuff like that. I was at an internet cafe to print out something when I went to the U.S. Embassy, and then my change I gave to the clerk and said, put that on their internet time. So I think as an American, like when you're traveling, you should be a good ambassador as well. Like represent your country well. Don't be one of those losers like you see on those videos. Sitting there yelling and getting into fights with foreigners. I mean, getting into fights with Filipinos and stuff, and getting arrested and stuff like that. I believe in being a good ambassador when I'm overseas, wherever I go.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of closes it out. I mean, unless you wanted to add anything else.
Nothing. It's just what's that? Oh,
But
I think we discussed everything. We we discussed other topic.
yeah, so to I guess to summarize, to tell guys, so like I said, for the SYSBM guys, which is the Save Yourself Black Men movement, who are traveling or thinking of traveling outside of going to Dominican Republic where everyone goes, or to Brazil where everyone goes, or to Thailand, which everyone goes to as well. Philippines is another option. Like I said, they speak English. Most of the women are Christian women. They're conservative. They believe in being submissive to their men. They eat fried chicken.
Oh my
uh,
god.
uh,
Actually, we don't consider ourselves submissive. We just prioritize our family. We just prioritize our spouse, our partner. It's just
well,
we're not even aware of that.
yeah. Well, in other words, you make wife material. That's something that we can't find here in the U.S. So what you just said just makes it sound even better.
People here will drop, like for example, the woman is at work and they will do overtime, and then the man said, "Come home. We need you to be here. Your child is crying," something like that. The woman will drop her work and go home.
Well, and that
Like
doesn't.
between the boss will just say like, "Hey, you're not allowed to go home." No, I will go home. My child needs me.
Well,
My husband wants me to go home. They will. They are like that.
well, that doesn't happen in the US. Like my generation, Generation X, we grew up as kids that they were at home alone after school. Like we pretty much took care of ourselves. Where
Mhm.
now that's considered like child neglect. But in my era, growing up in the '80s as a child, like we would come home and take care of ourselves. Like we would fix, pop some food in the microwave, watch some cartoons, and
Because for
take care of
us here,
ourselves.
like most people, they are prioritizing their career, their job, because it's all about themselves. It's all about for their own selfish reason. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to neglect yourself, but the thing is, you are in a relationship. You are two. You're not only one. You need to prioritize each other. So I, I mean, for us, like, what what's the reason for us? It's like, what is the reason why are you working? For your family, right?
Right,
So if you don't have family, what's the purpose of you working? No. So that's why we prioritize our family.
right. So
Family first.
absolutely, and that's what a lot of guys want here. A lot of black guys are looking for that because they can't find it here anymore. All our women want to be independent women. They want to be boss bees. So that's fine. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's cool. But the trade off is that once they hit that wall after they hit age 35 and now they're looking to settle down, guys are looking for something younger and for women who are more fit, friendly, and cooperative. So that's that's. I'm not getting paid to say all this, but hey, that's my that's my hook for guys to come to the Philippines. Now, if the Philippine tourism industry want to hand me a check, I'll take it.
The thing is, they need to be cautious.
And they need
Who
to be
are they
cautious
speaking
on
to? I
and whom
mean,
they pick.
that's in their
Don't
head. It's like, I will go to the Philippines and get any girl. Like, no, you need to
and
choose. You need to
and
have
and
standards.
and thanks for mentioning that because that would be the last thing I would say. So if you do choose to come to the Philippines or to any other um, Asian country or even in Latin America, don't don't pick women that you are finding on Facebook. Those are not the quality women. Wait till you wait till you get boots on the ground and meet women. Don't The women that are in these Facebook groups I told you about are typically, you know, they're sex workers. They're women who go into these groups looking to do nude contests for money or look for guys to be their sponsors. Um, they're not the quality Filipinos, and the problem is the guys who never travel think all Filipino women are like this, like the women in
Yes,
these
and
groups.
after that, after their poor decision, their poor judgment, they will blame it to all Filipina.
And they do. I see that in my own group that I've formed, and I would tell them, I said, this is not what all Filipino women are like. I said these are actually, I keep telling them the girls in these group are actually the minority. Um, I was like, there's plenty of good women over there, and I was telling them, I was like, go overseas, find these women. I was like, and a lot of them you'll find like working in a mall, as store clerks or working in some call
Yeah,
center. I
at
was
least
like,
they have job.
yeah, you'll see the ones they'll be coming from work early in the morning because they work in the call center, or you'll
Mm.
see them at the malls or the restaurants. These are all quality women,
Yeah,
but no, they
I mean, even like, why would you marry a bar girl when you can just go? I mean, to SM like cashier.
because
Cashier don't have time to go to bar, or to sell themselves because they're too busy at the mall. At least they have work.
and
I,
because some of these guys are just lazy and they're going for the easy pickings, and they don't realize a lot of those store clerks they would be so flattered if you started flirting with them. Like I remember even with my wife,
yeah.
we were in some store and the girl literally said to my wife, like she was talking, I think she even said it in English too, so she knew I would know what she was saying. She was like, "You got more of him?" Like she was like, "Does he have a brother or something?" Or it was so funny. Or we were in the city hall at Mandelion, and we were getting our papers processed for the marriage license, and there was a woman working there, and the guys were like, you need to find her a man too. I'm like, I was like, well, I was like, I'll give her my boss's telephone number and Facebook. They was like, yeah, give that to her because she needs a man. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
I think because some men they don't look they feel like they're not worth it. That's why they're looking at the bar. But if they don't have that confidence, they must go to like at the mall.
Some of
I
them is
think, but of
confidence.
course you can get quality women not
Well,
in
and
that area.
well, something I want
But
them to know is that the women are more approachable here and there in the Philippines than they are in America. See, in
yeah,
America, you can get shamed just for trying to talk to someone. Like if
because we are not assuming here. I mean, we won't judge you until you really say that directly to us. Like for example, you talk to me and you have intention. I can feel, for example, that you have intention, but I won't put that in your face. I will wait for you until you say it directly to me, and that's the time I will decide how to react. We are not like in the US, like I'm watching some video and then the man is just approaching a girl and the girl doesn't even know yet what he is about to say. She just said, I have a boyfriend. Like, what? He will just tell you that your tires are, you have
you
a
know it's
boyfriend?
what's even worse are the gyms in America. Like the gyms are getting so bad now that they're gonna start separating. And some gyms they're gonna give the women their own workout areas because the women are just being ridiculous. Like they will actually set up their phone cameras to catch guys looking at them. They intentionally go to the gym dressed provocatively, right, and expect men not to look at them when they're doing stuff like bending over and all this sort of stuff. Or a guy might approach them and instead of just saying, "Hey, no, I'm not interested," they will try to shame the guy on the video and put it, post it on social media to embarrass this guy and just it's just instead of just saying, "Hey, I'm not interested," or just putting some earphones in their ears so people won't come try to talk to them or whatever.
I think as a girl, I know that it's like they want to feel beautiful, they want to have attention, and they want to post it on social media to say, hey, someone is approaching me, I'm beautiful.
Now it's yeah.
Really?
Now in the Philippines, I saw the opposite reaction. Like in my condo, we have a gym, and the women were nice. Excuse me. But what was funny was my wife picked out a woman that was coming to the gym wearing butt pads and in her pants.
Oh, the pants has like,
Yeah, and my wife noticed because it slid out of place while she was on the treadmill. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, so she got out of place little butt cheek pads. I was like,
it's a
so
trend. The TikTok leggings, the one who
yeah.
has like, I bought that. I think three or four. I haven't used it until now.
But I was like, would you go to the gym wearing butt pads though? Like,
No,
yeah, I wouldn't think so. I don't know why she was doing
no,
it. And she was with her kid at
I'm not
that. So
going to
it's
the gym.
and
Maybe
she
you
was
can wear that, but you have like longer tops.
but
So
it
no.
it just wouldn't make sense, like especially if you on a treadmill and you using a butt and you got like butt pads on. I'm
I will
like
make my butt twice as big and then I will go to the gym wearing that.
but yeah, the even in the gyms here, it's like guys have to just avoid women when they're in the gym, just stay focused because if you try to approach a woman there, the funny thing is women go there to meet guys, but depending on whether they're attracted to the guy or not, they might not want to be approached. And a lot of them have their video cameras set up on their phones so that they can catch guys looking at them. So some gyms are telling women, telling people to turn their cameras off when they're in the gym, so they can stop posting these sort of embarrassing videos. But yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
also it's privacy. There are other people there who's doing their workout. They want privacy, but then they are publishing it
yeah.
on
So that's
social.
a so that's my hook
I mean,
for telling guys to come there.
For me, you must not blame women on how they. Of course, I'm saying like if you dress for the occasion, dress for the place, you need to to look decent. But of course, we can't blame women just by wearing revealing clothes like that. But then there are women who purposely doing that just to
Exactly.
get attention.
So
And
it,
of
it
course, men will give them attention because they look slutty.
right, and it would be the same like guys coming to the gym in tight gray sweatpants with no underwear, so women can see their
They don't
prints.
have underwear. Maybe they're wearing thong.
Guys here don't wear straight men here don't wear thongs.
Oh,
uh,
men, not women.
no, yeah, I'm saying like the women coming to the gym dressed in a certain way would be just as bad as guys coming to the gym and they're just wearing tight gray sweatpants so that the women can see the front of their pants, like their prints
Oh,
on it. Now, if
really?
guys were to do that, well, guys do dress like that now. So if a guy does that, like he's looking for attention, right? So it's the same thing. If they are coming to the gym and they got something on so tight that all of their butt is exposed, like they're doing it purposely. They're not doing it because they're not doing it for the gym because it's more comfortable to wear loose clothing when you're working out than tight clothing.
Yeah.
So if they're wearing tight clothes, it's for the attention. It's not for the workout. Because loose clothes is more comfortable when you're working out.
Not
But
really, but not too loose, but just
depend
right. Mm.
now depending,
Not
like I run, so I like really short shorts. But apparently there's a new trend here in the U.S. where if guys are wearing short shorts, the girls are checking them out. They call it hoochie daddy shorts.
like the one that looks like a hot pants, like for the dancers, like women dancers, super short, looks
Yeah,
like a
so
boy,
yeah, so
like a
guys are
boy,
wearing
like
yeah, so guys are now wearing
really.
super short shorts.
Why would they do that at the gym?
No, they're walking outside with these sort of shorts, but they some of them are wearing them to the
Oh,
gym too. Now I wear those when I run, but that's purely as a matter of comfort. Is most runners wear short shorts, and I think I was telling you about the martial arts off camera. Like when I'm practicing Muay Thai, people who practice Muay Thai tend to wear really short shorts, because they don't like any restriction when they're like
you know
kicking.
what? If I remember, I saw a man at the mall. Of course, he's Filipino. He's wearing a short as short as a boxer short, but it's not a boxer short. It looks like a lounge wear, like the short that you used to wear at home, but it's super short, like almost a boxer short. But it's decent. But when you look at him from afar, like, oh, it's like you will he can caught your attention. It's like when I look at, oh my god, it's so weird, and he's funny. You know, like he looks funny. He looks stupid. Like, what's that?
So yeah,
And it's colorful. Like,
yeah, so if guys are wearing hoochie daddy shorts or they're wearing the tight gray sweatpants, they're doing it for attention. So it's the same thing for women. So where you want someone to look, but you only want certain people to look and not others to look. You don't get to make that decision. Like if you're wearing something for attention, everyone's gonna look, not just the people you want to look, right?
in
So
here you can easily tell if the woman is with a foreigner sometimes. Like, oh, I bet she has a foreigner. She's like wearing super high heels, like his
I
stomach is revealed, like hanging, like crop top and super micro mini skirt. Like, really, you can wear mini skirt, but at least cover your top. Like, no, she's almost naked, and then after a few minutes, oh, I saw. Now she's with her foreigner. It's easy to see. It's easy to tell. Like, I don't know why they suddenly dress up like that too.
I think I don't see. I
For a
don't think it's
foreigner,
suddenly. I think they were always dressing like that, and they were looking for that sort of attention
maybe they
from
think
foreigners.
that. Maybe they think when they're watching like YouTube, or they think like American girls are dressing up like that.
And we're
Maybe they
looking to
think that's
get,
why they're
and a
dating it.
lot of us are looking to get away from that. Like my wife, she dresses conservatively. Like I can't get her to wear a bikini to the beach. Like she
You're so
she
okay, Jay. It's at the beach.
she doesn't wear a bikini. I told her I was gonna try to buy her like a. I told her I'll buy her like a bikini, and then
One piece.
and then I'll buy her a top that goes over it to cover it so it looks
No,
more modest.
I never wear like a bikini. The last time I wore a bikini when I was like 11 years old at the
Oh,
beach.
really?
I'm just doing it on YouTube.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that doesn't count because because as you know, when you're little, it just looks adorable. But once you grow, then it's a different thing. And yeah, so she, she'll wear like shorts and a t-shirt over top her clothes.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes here Filipinos are wearing pants at the beach.
Yeah, she like when she was traveling, she she went to the beach last weekend. I think she was in Zambales, and she and all her no, I'm sorry, she wasn't in Zambales. She went to the province of Quezon, and she was at the beach there with her travel team, and all of them were fully covered. I was like, "Dag, even the guys got on shirts and
Yeah, I
pants."
remember. I was 16 years old. We went to the beach, and I'm wearing, the midi type of pants, the pedal. We call it pedal, like a maong pants, but up to like here only of the what's that? Was
The
below the knee.
Yeah.
It's a maong. Like I was even. I thought it's normal. I just realized now, oh, it's not normal.
So yeah, so I guess I stuck out like a sore thumb when I was at my condo because we have
No,
pools
no,
there.
Tong is too revealing at the beach unless you will go to
So I
like
just had on yeah,
Palawan
yeah, I
or
just had on swimming trunks and they were like kind of tight. And I remember some Filipina, she whistled at me. I'm like, what? Like she's like, I'm like, wow, okay.
oh my god.
It was hilarious because I didn't expect that because I thought most Filipinas are shy. But it was hilarious.
No, they are just like not making fun of you, but she's just like trying to be funny with you, not at you.
Oh, I
Just
know.
like
No, I laughed.
it's like
It
it's a
was funny.
joke, but yeah.
No, it was funny because I guess they weren't used to. I mean, no, actually, there's a lot of foreigners in my condo. I used to live in SM Light residences in Mandaluyong. It's the condo where it's a mall. This apart like the mall is at the bottom of the condo, and the condominium is up top. So it was convenient. I didn't have to go far to go shopping. I literally just had to go downstairs, and the common area had several pools and a gym, and it was a lot of other foreigners that lived in that building. So I guess they were used to us sort of, but I guess it was still like well, I guess it was still a shock because some of the women that come there are like friends of people who live there. They don't live there themselves, so they're not used to seeing the foreigners. So I think that's what that was because it was just funny. But yeah, it's great. I
Hey, earlier we are about to say bye bye, but then
Yeah. So I just wanted to wrap it up and tell 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 the passport bros why they should consider the Philippines as an option outside of the Dominican Republic where everyone goes. No, no problem with Dominican Republic. That's just not my speed. Plus, everyone goes there. Why go somewhere everyone else is going to? Um, Dominican women they're pretty, but I just have a fetish for Asian women, so I chose the Philippines instead. And
okay.
I, I've labeled all the reasons why guys should choose the Philippines over you know Dominican Republic and all those other places. But it's up to them. Hopefully they'll they'll enjoy me talking with you. And guys, go over to her channel. She has a lot of great stuff. And from what I was talking about, how they look, she's a perfect example of that. She does show it on her channel as well. So,
So bad.
so hey, you definitely can go there. Also, you do the tarot card reading, so some people might be
Yeah,
interested in
every
that.
Friday it's live. If they want to talk to me, they want life's advice. You should. I think you should guess there. So you must give some advice. Like
Oh,
I will
sure.
pull a tarot, and it's like give them a realistic advice, practical advice, not just tarot, because you are living in a 5D world, not in
No, that's
Madge.
yeah. That was interesting when I found out that you did that because I only knew of Roma people to do that here. What they're sometimes called gypsies, but they don't like being called gypsies. It's considered offensive to them, but they refer
What
you
is
know
gypsies? Are they the traveler? Like I watched some videos on YouTube like gypsy bride. Like what's that? And then when I check it, it's like they travel. They are living in a container
Yeah, they
van.
had
Is
they
that
had a show
gypsy?
about them on the National Geographic Channel a long time ago, American Gypsies. But like I said, they don't prefer being called gypsies. To them, it's offensive because they're not. The term gypsy was originally made because they were these people in Europe, and the people from Europe, looking at their complexion, thought they were Egyptians, so they start calling them gypsies.
Oh,
But
okay.
but when they actually looked at their DNA and stuff, it found out that most of them had ancestry from like northern India and places in like the Middle East and Eastern Europe, and a lot of them tended to be from Romania. So a lot of them refer to themselves as Roma, which is short for like Romanian or
Okay.
Romani. So a lot of them are so they call themselves Roma or Romani instead of Gypsies, but a lot of them here in the U.S. will set up the little stores where they do psychic readings
But
and tarot
what
cards
are
and
they? What are their? What's that? What are their difference compared to a regular person?
just their culture. Like they have a culture that stems from like uh Eastern Europe, like I said, mostly Romania and other places in Europe. They were known not to have their own country. They just sort of were like the wanderers in Europe.
Oh, the travelers. They call themselves travelers, and
Hmm. But
yeah.
yes, but yeah,
I saw
you're
that there is people like that in Ireland. I watched a video like a gypsy bride, and then they
yeah a
are
lot of
living in a van.
yeah. I think they're like all over Europe. So you can find them all
Oh,
over Europe, and like I said, you'll find them in the U.S. too. But you'll mostly see them because they do the tarot cards and the psychic readings and
oh.
stuff like
When
that.
I was young, that's my dream to live in a van and then always travel because I watched that was that movie, Selena. Selena. They live in a van. Selena
That would
Gomez.
be a
No, Selena. The Selena one who was portrayed by J.Lo. Her name is Selena. They're
okay.
living in a van. The singer who was shot dead
Yeah.
in her own concert.
Oh yeah,
So
she
I'm
was
like,
one of my
oh, I like
favorite.
to live in a van.
Oh yeah, I had a crush on her when I was a kid. Yeah, we're getting so off topic, but yeah, I had a huge crush on Selena when I was a kid. She was famous, up until her death, um, in like the mid '90s, and I remember like I think like every Latino household I went to, like they had a copy of the Selena CD at the
Yeah.
time. Um, but yeah, no, that lifestyle is hard, really. A lot of celebrities talk about how hard it is being on the road all the time. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it's hard, I think.
so you wanted to be like on a travel bus when you were younger.
Before, when I was younger, like, I want to live in a bus.
Now they do have
Like, just
those. They do have those vans that are set up like small, like a small apartments that you can live in. Um,
but it's hard if you want to go to the toilet. I don't want to,
no,
like,
well no
gather
that
the poo poo and then where oh, disgusting.
well no they have
No, thank you. I don't like.
they have eh, uh bathrooms set up in those mobile homes, and what
Okay.
happens is you take it to these rest stops where you hook it up to these septic cleaners, and it cleans it out for you, but it's
Oh.
gonna it's smelly. But yeah, they have
Yeah,
these
it's
little
so hard.
but yeah, they have these septic cleaning areas for like mobile homes and stuff like that. But I just wouldn't want the lifestyle on the road. There are a lot of retired people that do it. Like at least here in America, there's a lot of people who are retired and they would travel around in like a mobile van, stuff like that.
I think it's okay to do that, like, for example, once a year, like a month, once a year, like, do that. But to live there permanently, like,
Well, if
It's tiring. It's stressful.
I couldn't see it as a permanent lifestyle. Like I said, most of the people that do that are retirees, not younger people, because most people don't have the money to just drive around the country and stuff like that and live on the road. It would be fun. I can imagine like that could be fun for like a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah,
Like
but if you will live there like permanently, it's not fun. It's hard.
yeah, like I told my wife like if um when she comes to US, we can do a cross country travel across the United States and just like we could like rent a vehicle and travel across the country so that she could
Yeah,
see like
that's nice. Yeah,
yeah,
if you want
because
to.
because it would take you like a good week to get across the country, like depending on where you start from. Like if we started from like Baltimore, which is like right in the middle, and drive all the way across to like Southern California, you would cross through a lot of states, and it would probably take like at least a good week to do so.
I
And
think it's
meanwhile,
nice to travel during spring and end it if it's
yeah,
summer, because in summer it's too warm. It's hard to.
yeah, well, it depends on what parts of the country you're driving through. And like I said, you could travel cross country and then you can fly back to your original city. Or what would be nicer, what I was planning on doing with her, is like we would drive across country and then we would take the train going back to
How
have that
about the
experience.
car? You will just leave it there. You will just leave the car there, the
Yeah,
van.
yeah. If you rent the vehicle, you just leave it at the company at wherever you stop at. So
Okay.
if I rented at the Enterprise, I don't know what the names of the companies are there, but say like Enterprise is a rental vehicle company. If I can drop off the vehicle at any of those enterprises.
That's fun, I think. But
Yeah.
I guess it's easier if you will just use the van to go back, because you traveled so far. Of course, you shop a lot.
So, but what's also fun is going
How
to the
can
different.
you carry
The,
that?
what's fun is actually going to all the different little highway rest area restaurants, as opposed to like eating your own food in a van. I mean, you can do that too, but it'll be fun like going to all these little because you find so many nice little cafes and diners along the road when you
Yeah.
travel on the highway. Not so much in the Philippines. Like usually when we were traveling, we would have to wait till we get to a major area before we would find like restaurants and stuff. Like like when we first traveled to Tarlac together, and I had to wait until we got somewhere where we could stop and get something to eat and stuff. And I would grab like coffee and like fried chicken and a whole bunch of stuff, and then we would be on our way. But it's not like here where you have like different little rest areas along the highway, because I guess the infrastructure isn't the same in the Philippines, where the
Yeah.
highway system has been developed. And now they've been doing some more things recently. Like they just started one in Cebu, I think, a highway system, I think, and
It's
they're trying
Cebu
to improve.
Cordova link,
I,
but
I forgot the
I
name of but they
yeah,
developed a new
it's a
highway system
new.
there,
Yeah,
and
it's the Tertes build program, but I don't think there's some restaurants there. Maybe few.
yeah, so not that many. So you got to kind of like
Yeah.
like when you're driving in the Philippines, you got to like stock up on everything as soon as you get to one of those places. You got to stock up because it's going to be a while before you get to another place where you can get food and stuff like that. So by the time we hit Pampanga, I'm like loading up on stuff in Pampanga, and then we probably won't see anything again until we're in Tarlac. So um, yeah, it's like I said, it would be fun for guys to travel there. I appreciate you talking with me and helping me trying to convince some of my viewers. I always
Oh,
joke and
so
say
you're convincing them, huh?
I always joke that I only have one subscriber. So I was like, that one subscriber should be convinced, I hope. but but no, it's quite a few people I know watch it, and I don't know if they travel or not, but I hope that if they watch this, then they will consider the Philippines. Because like I said, I see it as my second home now. like, it was unfortunate with the pandemic that I wasn't able to get back when I wanted to. But like I said, once I come back this time, I'm probably gonna
You can
stay
go. You
indefinitely.
can go.
Oh
Are
yeah, I
you
know.
vaccinated? You can go now. You can go home now here.
Oh, I know because of what do you call the visa? The Bala
Balikbayan.
Balik
Balikbayan?
Bayan. Yeah, I have the Balik Bayan visa whenever I travel there because my wife is,
So you
you know,
can,
foreign.
yeah.
I mean,
Why? What are you
national.
waiting for?
Oh no, I had to. The only reason it took me a while is because I had to renew my passport. That's all.
Oh, okay. She's probably waiting for you.
Yeah. So is the family. Like they say, when is they were asking her when I'm going to be back and stuff.
He
Um,
escaped.
no, like yeah, her cousins like me. They was like they want to play basketball with me and stuff. So
And
um,
they will ask her, tell me the truth. Did that man left you?
no, because I talk with them. Like
No,
I
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
no, they yeah they like me. So they were saying they'll fix my foods when I get back. So you know, like I said, guys need to consider the Philippines. Like if you're looking for something different, Philippines might be the way to go. Thailand also, but I say Philippines number one. If you're planning on staying there for a significant amount of time, then I say the Philippines is better than Thailand. For a shorter time, maybe Thailand is better because it's a little bit crazier there, and I hear there's more diversity with food actually in Thailand than the Philippines.
The
Um,
food, oh, no, I don't like Thai
and
food.
it's
Oh,
and it's
sorry, oh, sorry, sorry.
well
I don't
they
know if the restaurant where I ate there is bad, but I
they
mean,
have
when
some
I
good
tasted
food.
it, the owner is looking at me. Maybe he's looking if I will like it or not. And then, oh my god, I can't finish it. Their pancit, they have like noodles, and it tastes like, what's this? It's like pancit with caramel. It tastes something like that. And then their shrimp, I don't understand. And then I just, I just, what's that?
the,
Ate three, what was that? Three bite, and then after that I finished my coke and then I left it. I said thank you.
I'll see
I'm
you
still
didn't.
full, but I'm really hungry, but I can't eat it. I don't like taste. I don't know, maybe my taste buds are for Filipino only.
Well, no, just it's just that from people living there, they were saying that it's more diversity in the types of foods that you can get there as
Really?
as compared to the Philippines. I think the biggest plus that Thailand has over the Philippines is they have better internet. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
it, Internet here is, yeah.
Oh, I know
You
because
know,
I'm working there.
before
It's frustrating.
I'm not a fan of like food from the Middle East, something like that. But after I've been to Sweden, I'm always craving for Turkish food and Indian food. It's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I like the taste of it, but I hate those strong spices. But I don't know, when I was there, uh, how they put paprika and other spices. It's just right. Unlike here in the Philippines, like, what is this? Is this paprika with meat? But I like, but Thai food, no. Japanese food, yes. Korean food, no. Don't like Korean food.
The thing is, there's in every Asian country, there's like food that I like and I don't like. Like
Yeah.
in almost everywhere, I will reject seafood. I don't like seafood at all. So
Really, I like seafood.
most yeah,
Except fish. Except fish.
most Asian cuisine has seafood, and I don't like seafood at all.
Oh,
Like
I
I'll eat,
like prawns, crabs,
I don't. Now, if you like
squid.
that,
Except
you'll
fish. Except fish.
well, if you like crab, you will love Baltimore and Maryland because we have Maryland crabs. That's the specialty here.
But I
I
like the crabs with spots. We,
spots.
here we have like alimango and alimasag. The
Uh,
alimango is the one without spots, the one who grows super big. But the alimasag has like white spots in it, and it grows like up to like medium size only. It's more tasty, and alimasag is from the ocean, while alimango you can get that from the river, and it is usually bland. Sometimes they are growing it in a fish pond, which sometimes tastes bad. But alimasag, that type of crab. It tastes really good. It has a flavor to it already because it came from the ocean, like that.
Well, so yeah, so you were probably like Maryland blue crabs. That's our specialty.
I
Um, I
haven't tried
I
Marilyn.
used I ate,
I haven't been in your country.
I ate it when I was little. You know what? I might bring some over when I come there for my in laws.
Hey, it will spoil if you will bring it
No,
here.
you can ice it. I don't know. I might bring or I might not the shelled kind, but the crab meat itself. I can kind of maybe
Oh, oh,
I
that's
can
nice. I don't need to.
yeah I
I
can
will
just
just
bring
eat.
yeah I can bring the crab meat and just remind me like if, when I come there I can bring some crab meat and I can bring our Old Bay seasoning. I bought my wife a huge thing of it. She still uses it. Like she hasn't ran.
Really?
She sprinkles it on everything now because I told her we use it on stuff like fried chicken and soup and salads and stuff. She sprinkles it on everything now. She puts it on the
Oh,
fish. She puts it on chicken. She loves that seasoning because it's strictly
I
from
think
Maryland.
yeah, yeah. I believe you because I have no problem with like American food because it's
Yeah.
similar to our food, like pizza, burger, similar to. It's familiar, but it's Thailand. I feel like someone choked me like I need to breathe. Like what is this? Tastes different. Like
Well, I won't. Yeah, some of their food is wild, but some of that stuff I um, like pad thai and stuff like that. But yeah, they have a nice diversity of food and they have good internet. They have some great temples to visit, a lot of stuff to do. But I think if someone is planning on living long term in Southeast Asia, I think for at least for Americans, I think Philippines is better long if you are planning either living there long term or you're looking for like a serious relationship. Like you can get a serious relationship with a Thai woman as well, but like I said, the language barrier could be an issue. So that's why I think the Philippines might be slightly better.
yeah, I think so.
But I'll end on that note. I know it's been going a while, so we're gonna break this up into sections
Yeah,
for people.
my cat fell asleep now. Oh.
Wait, well,
He's waiting for me.
I don't think you saw him just a minute ago. He tired himself out. He was doing some sort of gymnastics behind your back for just a second,
Really?
like a minute. Yeah, it was hilarious. Like the viewers will see it. Like he was climbing and doing something just a minute ago and tired himself out. It was hilarious.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's waiting for me. He's always like that. At least now he's quiet. He usually cries like he wants my attention. But now
We
he's patiently waiting for me.
we have cats in my house too. My wife and her family lives with us in our home now in Bulacan. So it's like I think it's like two Persian cats and a dog. The dog
Oh,
is like a half breed, I think. So, but the cats are pure Persian cats. So,
okay. Cats are easy to take care of, but the dog is hard. It's full of effort. My cat,
yeah.
I'm only irritated at this cat if he poo poo. But he poo poo. He has his own toilet, so he can poo poo in the toilet.
Wait,
I will just
he doesn't have a litter box. He uses a toilet.
no. I'm using what's that? I'm using the wee wee pads for him to
Uh,
wee wee. I just put it in the toilet, and then he will poo poo somewhere in the toilet floor, and then yeah, he will ask me to remove it. I will just get some. That's why I have a lot of tissue. This is for him. I will put like five tissue on top of his poo poo. I will put some plastic and then like that, and then I will put some Zone rocks or bleach and then detergent and clean it. It's like that
now
because the litter box, I feel it will smell the litter box. I don't know.
um, well, the litter box only stinks when people don't clean it
Oh,
enough.
I haven't tried it. I
Like
haven't tried the litter
if you
box.
clean it regularly, then it shouldn't stink. But some people take too long to clean it, and that's why it stinks. And what happens is when cats notice that you aren't cleaning it regularly, they stop doing their thing and digging
Oh,
it. They start pooping on top of the litter instead of burying it like they're supposed to because they want you to get rid of the mess. So if you don't
oh,
clean up that used to happen with our cat here in America. If you don't clean up enough, then they'll stop burying their poop. They'll just poop on top of the litter, and they'll stink up the whole room. But
Oh,
or some people, if they're lazy, they can buy the self cleaning litter boxes. Especially people who travel, they'll buy a self cleaning litter box. It
how,
literally
how,
it
how does
scoops.
it work?
It's automatic, so it scoops the stuff up by itself.
Really?
Yeah, it's good for
I don't
people who
know.
travel. It's good for people who travel a lot or live alone, so they may not have time to always clean the litter box. You can get those, but they're expensive though. But you can get those
Okay.
self cleaning litter boxes
But
as well.
I heard some the cat there is a like virus from the cat and you must not let
Toxic
their poo
toxoplasmosis.
poo, yeah,
Yeah,
you must not let their poo poo to stay there for 5 days
yeah.
because you'll
Toxoplasmosis.
develop.
It can be toxic to children because they're still their brain is still developing, so
Yeah,
it can cause developmental problems in children. But also, it said even in adults, it can cause issues like um,
depression, like they become suicidal, they said. I just read it, I just saw it on Google.
yeah, it's because the it's caused by some sort of parasite, the toxoplasmosis.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want it around young children. Like, but other than that, yeah, litter boxes are perfectly cleanly if people take care of them. It's the people not taking care of it that makes it,
Oh, that's why
bad.
I don't use litter box because I'm thinking like, what if he poo poo there and then I won't see the other droplets and still there. So I
Yeah,
just
so so my wife loves having the pets because I told her we couldn't have a pet in the condo because they wouldn't allow us. She tried to sneak it.
oh,
No, she tried to sneak a kitten in. I was like, we can't keep this kitten. It
what
was,
if
I
the
mean,
meow
it
we
was,
make sound like
I
that?
mean, it was cute, right? Because someone's gonna hear it. One and two, like it'll make a mess. So I'm like, no, we don't have enough room for a kitten. So it's only a one bedroom condo. So I was like, when we get a bigger place. So now that we have a house, she has her two cats and they have a dog.
Yeah.
It was originally two dogs.
Oh
One of
my
the
god,
dogs
it's a lot
died.
of work. She has a lot of
No,
pets to take care of.
no, that wasn't my idea. That was her brother's idea. I was like, that's
Oh,
too many people. I was like, that's too many pets. But yeah. So we'll end it
the pet
there.
team is like, talk to me.
So we'll end it there because your cat needs attention,
Yeah.
guys. Again, please go check out Marie's channel, Glam Lux. Like I said, she'll give a lot of insight on fashion. I don't know if I have any. I think I have at least one or two female viewers, so some of them might want to check your channel out and check out the fashion reviews that you're doing. Um, then, like I said, the tarot card readings. I might have to come there myself and check that out, and maybe get a reading to see what my luck holds
Yeah, every
for the future.
Friday. And I might put so that you will put this unlisted, so I might upload some of the our clips here so they can direct to your video.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll end it there. Thanks again for talking with
Thank
me
you.
and doing our
Thank
guest
you too. I
appearance.
enjoyed our conversation.
You're welcome. Thank you again. All right, guys, check out Glam Lux channel, okay, when you get a chance. And you see the cat in the background. He's telling you if you don't
Yeah.
check out her channel, he's going to attack. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye bye.